Let's just have a conversation.
How y'all doing, family? Mic check, mic check.
What up, pal?
Hello.
What's going on, family? What's going on? Welcome to Lapeef. Let's talk. Let me introduce the crew. We got Pearl from Just Pearly.
What up, Pearl?
Make sure you guys check her out. Mr. Logic, Siobhan, Anton, Coach K, B. Taylor, Bruiser, Carmen, and Curves for Life. Me, myself, I'm Lapeef JR. Welcome to Lapeef. Let's talk. How y'all doing, family? How y'all doing?
I'm doing good. Can I address the terrorists in the room though before we start, JR?
Terrorists? You see some terrorists?
Right underneath me. He was, we was in the green room. She all started up the terrorists.
You love that I'm underneath you, so okay. Well, that's better. That's better.
I had to put on my hater blockers on because I said you was hating in the green room.
I wasn't hating. I was calling it out for what it was. Okay.
Address the hate in the room then.
Let's let Lapeef start the show.
No, well, you gotta get the hater out before we can start because we want to have a genuine conversation. So
I just feel like it's not balanced, and we're gonna see it for what it is. Look at the panel. We ain't got no other man of any race on this panel.
You got Bruiser, or is that his light?
And you know I'm half European and half Cherokee Indian. But why gotta always be a race thing with terrorists?
If we're gonna be talking about certain topics about our community, and then y'all black men love to compare us to other races of women from beauty standards and all, then let's have another man from a different race up here so we can have balance so they can tell y'all about yourself.
We ain't worried about that.
Oh, shit. I know y'all not.
What's up to my ladies on the panel? Y'all looking phenomenal. I'm gonna just say that. Y'all looking absolutely stunning.
Well, besides B. Taylor and her AK-47, what you got, a suicide vest on too?
Yep, I'm ready.
Yeah. Anyhow, if you guys just tuning in, welcome to Lapeef. Let's talk. Make sure you get them likes up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the sponsor again, Teach Hanley, Feel the Teach. Make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. Get 30% off along with a free gift. Shout out to all the green gang that's in the chat. Shout out to you guys. I see you. My fault. I'm just clicking shit. Go ahead and start some of these super chats that came in so far. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and get to our first topic of the night. Y'all good, family? Y'all ready?
I'm phenomenal.
Okay. Let me show you a piece.
I'm super dope.
Super dope. All right, I hear that. All right, our first topic of the night is, are BBLs going out of style? Let me go ahead and play this video.
Do you have a certain type of girl? Like, do you like them? Me, I tell you what I like. So we having, I don't want to seem like I'm interrogating you. I want to speak with you. Me, I like super thick, big old ass. What about you? What's your type?
I like that girl.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't against skinny girls. I used to be though. I used to like them light skinny girls.
Right.
Like now, skinny girls cool. You know what I'm saying? I like.
Is the BBL going out of style?
I don't really know if it's going out of style, but like too much is like, all right, everybody got it now. You know, it's just, when everybody got something, kind of go out of style then.
Yeah. You know? Even the ones that they used to be a quality associated with the body done. Right, now it's damn near anybody.
So that's why it's kind of like played out a little bit.
Yeah.
Like regular girls.
Yeah.
Rich girls.
Yeah.
Broke girls.
Yeah.
That's when it's like played out.
All right, you guys see the topic, are BBLs going out of style? Who wants to go ahead and tackle this first?
I go. Hey, can we use an example on the panel?
I guess.
Curves for life. I'm telling you. Step
Nigga,
come on
first
down.
of all, I don't know BBL. What are you talking about? I got no BBL. This is homegrown. What you mean?
Oh, well, I'm just saying you can fool somebody. So I'm just saying, you remember the Price is Right? He picked somebody at the crowd. He said, "Come on down." All right, you don't know that.
Yeah, next, because I mean, homegrown. Next.
All right, I'm gonna quit trolling and how everybody doing today. But
I'm gonna say, if you want to say hi, just say hi. Hello.
who I'm saying hi to? All right, we're gonna go there. All right, look. So, I mean, BBLs is going out of style because I think it's going too far. At one point in time, women used to get it and it was proportional to their bodies. Now, go to Atlanta, go to DC, go to any of these major cities, and you just see some crazy outlandish shit. I mean, I'm sorry, some outlandish stuff. I don't understand why they do it. It look uncomfortable. I don't know how they sit on this stuff. And they think men want it, but for the most part, men don't want that stuff. But they still do it. And then I came to the understanding that they don't do this stuff for themselves. I mean, for the men, they do it to compete with each other. And if it hurts, you got to have surgery to get this stuff. I mean, the dudes that I know, they like a little sag. We like a little, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we like a compass, man. We like north and south, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes when you hit a certain age frame, you know what I'm saying, the birds head south for the winter. We understand that. So why do women not get that concept? They're going out of style. No pain. I mean, beauty is not pain. So why do you constantly put yourself through this? And then now, hopefully they get the picture, but I don't think they get a picture, even though it's really going out of style. Men's not really checking for it no more. But you know what? I ain't going to even make it a race thing. But we can look and see who's the majority of the women that's getting these BBLs.
It's a lot of white women with BBLs, bro.
A
lot of white women with BBLs, for real.
Not at. Hey, look. Go to these. Look, name me one. Look, and even if they get it, Anton, it's proportional to their bodies. You won't necessarily know.
Maybe no. I'll rock with you on that, but they do be getting them.
Well, but you don't know. And I mean, back in the day, they used to have these big double D cups and stuff like that. Well, you say, okay, she got
the most famous chicks on the planet. The Kardashians all of them got BBLs.
Yeah, but the Kardashians is something different. They special.
No, they not. Well, come on.
They're not, and they look like Bugs Life. Their asses look like Bugs.
And now they going right back to their roots and taking all of that out.
Well, because it's hazardous. At least they can pay for it. They ain't got to go to Colombia and get it.
I don't want to try to get some other people in there.
Can I go?
Go ahead, Pearl.
I was taking notes.
I feel like the BBLs have started to look like diapers, where it's like the butt's like hanging off. I don't know. I think like it's not necessarily that they've gone out of style. It's just like, I agree with you. I think they've gone too far to the point where it's just looking like silly. Because I've even had girls come on my show and I'm like, girl, what on earth did you do in Colombia or wherever you get those done?
Okay. All right, go ahead, B. Taylor.
Okay. So I do agree that it has that it's gone out of style because everyone is getting them. When women, that was secret to women of color, we naturally grow like that, and not every woman of color grow like that. So when a man would see that, it was praised because it was rare to see a woman who was perfectly shaped like a Coke bottle. That was a thing. But for the longest, we were shamed for our curves, our hips, our butts, our legs, everything was shamed. The white girl was the beauty standard. Her small frame, her I don't know. I don't want to say boyish body, but they want them to be really small, thigh gap, all of that. That was the trend. So our curves for the longest wasn't praised. We had Beyonce, we even had J-Lo, but she was a Hispanic girl. So it was mostly like, you know, praised in that way. But once Kim Kardashian stepped out with Ray J, that's when it became popular. That's when it became popular. Kylie Jenner made the lips popular. Black women are, you know, the standard of that they're replicating now. Now it's gone too far where you're seeing Black women who naturally had a nice body ruining their bodies now with these BBLs. Like I know people personally who had great bodies and they went and got it big because that's what's in, and they think that that's what men want. And I can't say that women who try to say, I don't do it for men, I do it for myself. You're doing it for yourself to feel good from the validation that you get from men. So at the end of the day, you're still doing it for men. Let me see.
You got notes?
Yeah, I do have notes.
Okay.
And then white women started getting it. And as much as logic, you may not see it on your timeline, but I see it. And I see white women where I'm like, okay, sis, we know that's not yours. But guess who's praising it? Black men. So if Black women are seeing Black men praising the preference, then that's competition. So guess what? Black women are going to feel like they need to enter that competition to get the Black man's attention, because most Black women want Black man's attention back. So if that's the standard and that's what's being praised, then a lot of women are going to feel pressure to get that. And also, we're going to go from like a marketing standpoint. A lot of these women want to be influencers nowadays. So guess what? You can't get brands if your body looks sloppy or your body looks natural. Nowadays, people make fun of your body. Oh, I don't want to buy that. That's how it looks in that. But look at a girl who got a BBL and her body is banging, right? And she's wearing something. You're more inclined as a marketer to, as someone who wants to buy from that, because you think that's what you're going to look like. But you don't look like that. But that's just strategic in marketing, right? So a lot of girls will get these brands like Fashion Nova. You know, Fashion Nova pressure a lot of these influencers to get their bodies done, because I don't want you wearing my clothes if you're not going to look good, if you're not going to look like these other girls that we have. Look at all the Fashion Nova girls. They all have the same type of body. So therefore, it is a trend to be an influencer nowadays. So guess what? You got to get with the program. So I do think that I'm glad that it's going out of style, because I'm sick of looking at it.
So you said that they doing these butts that's hanging over their ass to look like who?
To look like the influencers nowadays. It started with the Kim Kardashian. They are.
But your first analogy, you said that they was trying to look like white women.
They was trying. No, I didn't say that. I said they were trying to look like Black women.
Okay, so they was trying to look like Black women, right? So Black women naturally have this, according to you, right?
Not all Black women. Like I said earlier, not all Black women have that, but the ones that it was rare to have a Coke bottle shape.
But see, I see you'll make a point if the Coke bottle shape is what they was actually trying to duplicate now. If you look at Megan Thee Stallion, if you look at the City Girls, you look at all these so-called influencers, they don't got no Coke bottle shape. They actually shaped like a European mayonnaise, not a mayonnaise bottle, but a mustard bottle. They just it's not even proportioned anymore. So
are you saying Megan Thee Stallion's not proportioned?
No, look, they asses is silly. You know it.
Megan Thee Stallion ass is silly?
Yes, it's to the point now that it's if
I thought her ass was real.
It is real, so that's what I'm trying to figure out your point is.
Yeah, all right. So what? Y'all laying with her? Y'all know it real?
I know people behind the scenes, and
okay,
I know it's real.
I know what it was real effect.
What I'm making, if you saying they trying to achieve a Coke bottle shape, then they're not getting Coke bottle shapes.
But they're trying to.
It's technically they're trying to get the Coke bottle shape, the big titties, the wide hips. Regardless of how big and wide it is, that's still a Coke bottle shape. It may be a big ass supersized Coke bottle, but it's still.
Oh, okay. So now it's a Coke bottle on steroids. Okay, I can go with that now. Long as it's a Tyson chicken Coke bottle, it's insane and it looks stupid, and you know it looks stupid. It looked like it hurts.
I have a question. Do you guys think that women get BBLs to get like attention from men? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, it's interesting that women will go get surgery before they take like a cooking class or try to do something outside of like sexuality. You know,
Right?
Yeah, but you could cook and still have that BBL, and now that'll bring them up in the ranks.
Yeah, but what percent of like city girls like are really cooking? Like, you know,
I don't know. I know a lot of girls that I know cook. Even the ones that get the BBL, they're cooking.
Okay, maybe.
No, they don't. They twerking. You know this.
They twerking in the kitchen and cooking.
I was say, why can't you do that?
So not
I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
I'm sorry. I think I deal with more city girls than anyone on this panel with the amount of people I talk to in a week.
Why do you feel like you surround yourself with those type of people?
Because I do a live show 4 times a week.
But why do you bring on those type of people?
They make good TV.
What is your
They make
so
good
you're doing
TV.
it for entertainment?
Yeah.
So that's your whole,
it's an entertaining show. Yeah.
Okay. So when you talk about Black issues, it's more so for entertainment?
I don't talk about Black issues. I talk about dating.
Most of your panelists are Black.
Sometimes not.
Most
Depends
of them
on the
are,
show.
though, from what I've seen.
It depends on the show. I don't do the recruiting, actually.
But you allow it, you approve it, right?
No, I don't know who's coming.
You don't know who's coming to your own show? Okay.
All right, let me chime in.
All right, we got to keep it moving. Got to keep it moving, y'all. Come on.
All right. So, are BBLs going out of style? Yes, it's going out of style. I think most of the women that got it when it came into style, slowly starting to grow old and phase out of their prime. I mean, the young girls coming into fashion and into the dating realm are starting to see the backlash on social media and see how, the musical idols that were once gorgeous and someone, looked up to are becoming atrocious. So, this has led up to mentality change when it comes to beauty. Like Lil Baby, said, and I once had a thing for thick video vixens, back whenever in the 90s and stuff, King Magazine and all that stuff. So now Slim is in, because they took they took thick too damn far, basically. And in result, the gym body is taking the throne. So I say it's phasing out, man. People starting to wake up.
Okay. Let me go to Coach K. What are your thoughts about it? Are BBLs going out of style?
In my opinion, I don't know why they were ever in style. I don't think they looked good. I'm into fitness and there was no hamstrings, no hamstring glute tie-in. So it just looked off to me, but I don't know as far as numbers and things like that, but I think they should. I've heard they're really dangerous too. So I think they should go out of style.
All right. Carmen, what are your thoughts about it? Are BBLs going out of style?
As far as like what people are saying with regard to it becoming like saturated, so normalized, so not as unique and maybe intriguing, probably, but going out of style in the sense of that women will stop getting them anytime soon, I don't think so. I think that because there is a perception in mass of so much almost guaranteed attention from women that present themselves that way. And again, not through natural like fitness and natural body, maximizing through working out and things like that. I don't think that women are going to stop getting them because there's just still so much attention driving towards that visual, even if it is, just the masses that maybe aren't, it's not the validation. So one thing I was going to say too is I think that what we should think about a lot of times is what kind of attention those women want, right? So those women obviously internally aren't looking or understanding the type of validation maybe that they're craving because they're literally chopping themselves up to create a visual for some perceived attention. And it's like, so is that the kind of man that you want? Is that the kind of attention you want? Is that the kind of scenario you want to create for yourself? And I think that too many women do. They want that kind of attention. They want the mass attention. They want the superficial attention. They want the constant flow to feed from. And you get a lot of that from presenting yourself that way. So I don't think that it's going to go out of style in practice anytime soon. No.
You muted. You muted.
I'm sorry. Curves for life. Our BBL's going out of style.
I think they are going out of style. They should go out of style just because everybody can't have a big butt. But unfortunately, a lot of women are trying to fit a specific aesthetic, and they're trying to get these rich men. They're trying to bag they see what they see on social media in the music videos, and it's like a cookie cutter type chick. They all got the same looks. They got the same lips, the same boobs, the same butt. And they're just trying to pull a specific type of guy, but not everybody can win. You know what I mean? And I just think that we're all
winning?
Different. Huh?
Like, is that winning? You know what I mean? I think sometimes when we talk about it like that,
when I say winning, I'm speaking in regards to a woman trying to get a certain type of guy. That's winning to her. I'm not saying it's winning. I'm saying to the woman. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just meant like when we frame it like that, when we're talking about it as if we're acknowledging that they're winning, it kind of perpetuates the notion that even as women, we in some way, shape, or form look at the type of men that go for that as the ideal. That was just my point. Not to personally, against what you said, but
maybe you just misunderstood the way I worded it, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's not winning it's winning for attention. And it's winning for attention to be these influencers. That's why I agree with you, Taylor. That's the only part I agree with them. They do this to be these Instagram influencers. Because if you look at their Instagram page, I don't know. They might as well sell back scratchers because all you see is their back. I'm telling you, all these Instagram influencers, I'm telling you, Mr. Logic said it. Hey, back scratcher company, sell these chicks back scratcher because you're looking at their back the whole time. And that's what they want. They want this attention. It's not really for attention to men. It's for what you said, Big Taylor. I agree. The Fashion Nova, all the little stupid stuff. But when you have a majority of one group of people striving to be Instagram models, you got an issue. That's why you see an influx of BBLs coming from a certain demographic. It's insane. And tell me I'm lying about that, B. Taylor.
No, you're not lying. I'm writing down like the power of social media because it looks like BBLs are the trend, but then when you look in person, they don't look that good. So,
hey, so B. Taylor.
So ain't nobody gonna say it.
Look. Hey, this is a Mr. Logic back scratcher right here. So look. Hey, that time, snap a picture for me. Hey, I just made Lapeef Network $1 million. The Lapeef back scratcher. If you're a social media influencer with a BBL, DM JR at jrinfolapeef.com. We're going to get you these back scratchers because that's all you're showing anyway is your back.
So ain't nobody going to say it, man. And I just started to see something a few minutes ago. I honestly, think it was initially a pissing contest between black and white women. Someone stated that Kim K was the first to get it. And then it looked like black women held a big booty throne and had to relinquish the trophy. So what do? We're going to make our asses much fatter. Then it turned into an ass war.
I don't know about that. I think it just got bigger the more attention.
I mean, women already held the throne. So they're like, oh, we can't have them coming there taking our man with their ass.
Well, the thing about it though, Bruiser, is that the mindset of women in a lot of ways is so ass backwards because guys don't want girls with more weight on them. I don't know where we got that from. Like, listen. First of all, a lot of these chicks that's getting these BBLs ain't even had kids yet. And it doesn't absolve you from going to the gym. That's A. B, how is that the standard when we don't like fat girls?
Okay, I will say though, okay, so I'm super slim, right? And growing up, there was definitely a feeling of men, especially being a young girl, that men did want a very voluptuous woman. So
see, Carmen, you got it wrong. Let me tell you, baby girl.
Well, perception. It may be perception, but it was still there.
The perception, just because chicks was getting got, don't mean that those was the chicks that we was looking to wife up. Okay. It's a difference between busting down a chick, right? Listen, guys will fuck anything. Okay. We will listen, we will fuck anything to a larger extent. Just because a chick is getting bust down does not necessarily mean that she's desired. That just means she's a thing. And so y'all had the wrong perception because y'all believed that the chicks that was getting attention was the ones that we wanted, and those was just the ones that we used up.
Some of them girls like Trina. Well, hold on. What is your definition of voluptuous? Because I think sometimes women take what we think is thick out of context.
Bro, Trina been ran through.
That's not my point. I'm talking about the ratio, the body ratio. I'm talking about which
you said another thing that was disingenuous too, because they didn't get surgeries to compete. They took their ass to the gym to compete. Once they figured out that you can get ass and thighs by going to the gym, that's what they leveraged. They didn't leverage surgeries. So now when they ass started looking similar to black chicks' ass by going to the gym, then now you got the motherfuckers going to get shot. Do you
That's not why
of the shit that they was getting shot in their ass in Colombia? What's the look? And look, these not broke chicks, so don't say they Walmart Waffle House chicks. What's the chick name that had that she had a flat tire on her Instagram Live with her ass cheek? She was a singer.
K. Michelle.
Had a whole blowout on her live. On the IG Live, ass just gave out. And then guess what? Another chick sat there and laid down to get that same. I see if you pay money for it and get a run flat.
Well, logic, the thing that people don't realize is that most of the time women do stuff in a lot of instances to impress other women, right? Because think about it. Let's put it in perspective, right? Y'all seeking the attention of every guy, but you only really got to get it right once. You only got to get it right once. So why are you seeking the attention of a whole bunch of other guys, especially if you already got to do, right? And when you look at the behavior of women, is literally a Me Too movement in everything that they do. All you got to do is find somebody that get a little bit of attention and it's follow the leader. Even women's rings. I've never seen a guy, women's rings, they nails, all of that type of shit. They do it for other women. Guys don't care about the majority of the things that women think that they're doing in order to impress other people. They're doing it to impress their friends. And so when you see a woman do anything, especially when she steps out of line, especially when she goes about doing stuff that a lot of other guys don't like, because the ongoing consensus is that men want a specific type of woman. And it's not a woman that look like she got a flat tire or a BBL or whatever it is that you want to frame it. Women largely spend the majority of their time trying to impress other women instead of trying to align with the person that they're supposed to be with. And if they was aligning with the person that they were supposed to be with, then they would be working on their personality. They would be working on shutting the fuck up half the time. They would be working on their character. They would be working on a lot of other things. And then understanding that, you know what I'm saying, the work that you're supposed to do on a regular basis as far as just being your natural self and just going to the gym or whatever it is that guys like comes along with it. But they do all of these other things because they're influenced by other women instead of paying attention to what men really want.
Yep. But Anton, a lot of people in the community, they're not taught that. So they're literally doing what they think is right. So
okay, Siobhan, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Women come on this panel all the time and argue with us about what it is that we want. We tell you. We literally tell you.
No,
listen, it's a certain type of chick that we'll bust down and make for the streets, and it's a certain type of chick that we'll marry. And they be like, oh, but you're seeking all of the attention over here. And they just go in one ear and out the other.
Yep.
No, I get that. But I'm saying from growing up to present, there's a lot of people that just really don't know. They think that their way is the best way. And like some people just don't have those figures in their life to be able to know what's right and what's wrong. Like we hear it, but if people aren't watching the show and they don't have somebody that they can get those good answers, there's a lot of people that give advice and it's horrible. It's really
okay. I'll give you an example, Siobhan. I see women that are in relationships or married. And most of the time when you see a woman that goes out and she get these dumbass eyelashes and she get these BBLs and she be looking stupid out here, most of the time it's influenced by another woman in her life and not the man that she with.
Antoine,
Like,
I agree. I agree with Antoine because is it Anton or Antoine?
It's Anton. You got it right.
Anton.
I like your smile, B. Taylor.
You can't read. Is
I
that?
said I like your smile.
There is a limitation.
What? Anyway,
I'm saying it's not reading a terrorist limitation. Look, I'm not the smartest guy, but I know how to read Anton.
Anyway, Antoine, I call it the it girl syndrome. You know, a lot of women, I probably just made that up, but I call it the it girl syndrome because it's nothing like receiving a compliment from a woman, because we already know men will hit anything. We know men will holler at you at the gas station looking crazy. So we don't really take it as, okay, yeah, a man is just gonna, what's his agenda? But a woman doesn't have to acknowledge your crown. You know, she don't have to acknowledge you. So when you do get that validation from a woman, you like, dang, I feel like another woman is complimenting me. It's more of a compliment. I can say for every lady, well, not every lady, but
this is why y'all heads is backwards.
Yeah, it probably is, because it's nothing like walking in a room and you're not only turning the heads of men, you're turning the heads of women.
Why are y'all trying to wait? So let me ask you a question. Why are y'all trying to impress women?
Because if we think of women, okay, so if every girl wants that man and every man wants to be that man, then we feel like he's the man. So we look at it from an opposite perspective. If we're walking in a room and every girl wish she was that girl and men are looking her way, we're saying, okay, that's what we need to look like.
I don't know. I don't agree. I'm gonna let you speak for yourself on that one, because I don't care. I mean, I appreciate the compliment, but I don't need another woman telling me nothing. I don't.
Yeah, I agree. I don't.
When I look in the mirror, okay, and you get dressed, I tell myself I look beautiful and move on.
I agree. I agree to a percentage. I think it's partial. You know what I'm saying, Anton? I feel what you're saying, but I think the other part is just laziness. Probably more than what, you know, other women are trying to tell them. You got women, and shout out to Coach K for being in fitness. Like her, she built her body from the bottom up. She focused on her body, build it up, and she could throw the makeup on her hair with lashes. Not saying that's what you do, but that makes it look even better. And then you got these women that's building their body from the top down. They focus on wigs, lashes, makeup, and all that stuff. And oftentimes they just forget about their body. So they're lazy. Look how much money you invested in all these cosmetics, and you can go get a personal trainer probably for half the price. And then when you go out and vet, you don't have to go out as much as you would every weekend, sometimes twice a weekend. If your body is together, and then you put all that shit on the top on, then you closer to a dime than anything.
Yeah, but Bruiser, we live in a microwave society where everyone wants everything now. It doesn't take that long to go get your lashes and stuff done. You can do that within a day. So people don't want to put in the hard work.
Hold on. I'm gonna just add this because I want to caveat on what Anton said. You fail to what he said is Siobhan is listening to the women. She's not listening to the men. And then Miss Pearl over here had made a good point. How about investing in something that this man would appreciate more than two hours of sexual activity? Because you can cook. If you learn how to cook and you learn how to shut up, right? That's last a lifetime. Your BBL in your body ain't gonna last a lifetime. So ideally, if you're trying to give that man a peace of mind, it'll go a long way. That body is only meant for sexual attraction, sexual attention. After he get that nut, then he gonna think about how bad you cook, how dirty the house is, how the kids can't read past the 2nd grade level, and then 5th grade. He gonna snap into reality. Ain't gonna say, you know what, Siobhan, you ain't shit. Yeah, you look good. You look good, but you ain't nothing. So if you want to see and say, listen to the men are telling you. I listen to these panels from Fight Club to all these different shows, and I hear men say they want a peace of mind. And then I see women come back and say they don't care about the peace of mind. They care about what they want. They care about what they think the men should have from them. And they got all these other gaps. And they wonder why we got this thing called romantic stage. After he achieved the box, he lose interest in you because you have nothing left. You can't carry a conversation. You can't cook. You can't even make an egg. And then look, a BBL, you know, for the price of a BBL, you could have almost been a master chef. You could have been a sous chef for that price. And then that man can appreciate and value that. He can share you with his friends. He will brag on you. Man, hey, my old lady made these infused hot dogs with sour cream. Infused sour cream hot dog. Man, that hits. He can brag on you. He would cheat. Man, you know what? Let me fade over.
All right, y'all, we gotta move on, but we're gonna finish off with Pearl. Go ahead, Pearl.
I just had a question for the guys. Would you guys rather have a girl that has no butt at all, nothing, like completely flat, or a BBL? You get pick one.
I got flat. I take flat. I take flat.
I take the flat.
Flat. It's interesting.
Flat.
Every guy I've asked that to has said flat. I haven't had anyone say BBL.
What a cap had at?
Another thing, I have a question
with the girl with the BBL.
We talking about inverted butts.
No, if she's gonna ask that question, she need to add more context to it. Like,
she ain't gotta add nothing to it for me.
Okay, I said okay.
You ain't gotta add nothing for me.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Go ahead, Pearl.
I said like flat, like super flat, nothing. You can't. There can't be.
I'm taking flat.
No, I'm not taking no flat.
I'm taking
flat because I know what I can do with it. I know I can go to Coach K and get that thing popping.
No, you're not.
If I can't get that thing popping, I can get no quads, them hamstrings and them calf muscles popping. To make
no amount of gym that can change your DNA.
Okay, hold on, y'all.
If you would have said she had a flat ass and knew how to cook compared to a fat ass and can't fry egg, I'm taking that flat ass all day.
No, I'd rather have flat than any alterations to the body. I don't like alterations. Like, I don't want my chick under the knife like that unnecessarily. Like, if you say, okay, I'm gonna go get my teeth done, that's one thing. If you say I'm about to go and completely alter my body, I'm taking flat all day. I'm straight.
I have one more question for the guys. My brothers, they tell me that if a girl has like her lashes done, her nails done, and like a lot of like that sort of thing, they kind of see it as a red flag because it's like they're really cheap and they're just like, I don't want to maintain that. What do you guys think?
Hold on, say that again?
Like if my brother said if he sees like a girl, she's got like lip injections or like fake nails, lash extensions, or like anything that like they view as like high maintenance, I guess they feel like it's like a red flag because they don't want to maintain it.
Well, I'm rich, so I don't really care about maintenance per se. So
okay.
No,
you don't care.
Anton on cap mode tonight, man. Brandon read Anton back. Brandon,
no, she said you asked her to add context. She said that they're cheap and it's a lot to maintain. I'm saying that cost don't mean nothing to me.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna make a decision, it don't got nothing to do with the maintenance.
No, it's interesting. They do well, but they just It's just.
But see, it's not really about cost. It's not being cheap.
She just said it.
Okay, I got you. I was just as a question. It's not about cost.
It could be for another reason too. I'm just asking if you guys like that stuff.
Oh no, it's about
the reason why I don't like it.
Unnecessary. A man ain't checking for your eyelashes. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest with you, all the ladies on the panel tonight have natural looking lips. Right? Ain't no red lipstick, ain't no overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? It's like men appreciate just the simple things. And ideally, when they put all that stuff on their face, their skin start breaking out. So men appreciate the natural looking females. I'm telling you, when
I want my chick.
Oh, go ahead.
I want my chick to make the effort. I want her to get manis, pedis. I want her. You know what I'm saying? I want her to properly get her hair done by somebody that actually understands her hair and can take care of it instead of her trying to do what she thinks she knows she is doing and putting all of the heat in it and all of that. I want my chick maintained. Like, I want her to actually go and put the money into it. And I'll make sure I fund all of that. take care of yourself. Make sure you know what I'm saying, you in a good space. You know what I'm saying? I'll pay for whatever. I'll pay whatever you want. Personal trainer, all of that. I'm cool with my chick spending money on getting herself taken care of.
See,
that's like every girl's dream.
Y'all don't like red lips?
I've heard that too.
I'm cool with it. Listen, I'm cool with it.
I love red lips.
I'm cool with the red lipstick, whatever the hell lipstick you want to wear. I understand this. Most women have these insecurities that they try to cover up, and that's cool. Do it. Use the cosmetics. If that's what you want to do, go do it. Just make sure you're healthy and you fit. That's all I pride myself on. Whatever you do with your lashes and all that stuff, I can deal with it as long as you taking care of your body and your nutrition.
All right, y'all, we got to move on. We got to move on, y'all.
Take that chick home and you see all that stuff on your sheets.
And I just got to wash my sheets because I'm going to put some more stuff on them sheets. They're going to have to get washed anyway.
All right. If you guys just tuning in, welcome to Lapeef Let's Talk. Make sure we get the likes up. It's a lot of super chats. I'm going to try to comb through some of them. Shout out to my guy, Mr. Elephant, to the Unseasoned Chicken Fun. Appreciate you for the $500 super chat. See if I get a couple more. Matthew Washington, I got a super chat for Miss B. Taylor. Hell yeah, let's go. Shout out to all the new panelists. Read one more. Rebellious Videos, $2 evening panel. Hey, Pearl. Curves for life with the emoji eyes.
Boy, they trying to get at her.
All right, I'm going to try to get through some more super chats. Let's get to our next topic of the night. Y'all good? Y'all ready? All right. Agreeing to be exclusive with the first man who pays you a little bit of attention, ain't it? Date multiple men at a time to explore your options. Discover your desires and uncover your unique needs. You'll find more than just a man, but the right man for you. Which brings me to the topic of the night. Women should date multiple men at a time to explore their options. What are our thoughts? I'm going to start with Curls for Life first. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You on mute, just so you know. You on mute. You on mute. I'm muted.
Sorry. I think they should, respectfully, though. Like, just because you date doesn't mean you have to sleep with people. You know what I mean? And men do it. Men will serial date as many women, and they make sure women prove who is the best before they choose you. And not to say, like, again, because I think sometimes when men hear that, they automatically think that means you got to put out. Go out on dates, get to know men, and decide if that's somebody you even see that you want to be around. Because a lot of never mind, I'm not even gonna go there. But sometimes you can get caught up and you might put all your eggs in one basket, and then you find out a few weeks later that he's trash, that he's broke, that that's not his car, that, you know, a bunch of different other stuff. So just, you know, absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna go to Pearl next on that one. Women should date multiple men at times to explore their options.
That's not his car. Has that happened to you?
Is that you being funny? Or was that a genuine
No,
question?
I was just asking. I've just never heard of that. No, I was just asking. I've never heard of, like, he, like, picks you up in a car.
Okay.
That's not
Nah, I mean, you can answer the question. I wasn't answering you.
I wasn't trying to be rude. I was just asking.
Hey, this stuff tonight, you can be rude as you want to be.
Oh my gosh. So wait, what was the question? No, I mean, I just feel like men look for loyalty. So if you're, like, dating a bunch of guys at the same time, like, I think guys kind of want to be like they kind of like it when your attention is focused on them. So I don't know. I don't think it's that good to, like, date multiple people at the same time, but, like, if a guy's not giving you attention to the point that it's, like, plan A attention, you know, I think you should probably just find a different guy to date.
Okay. All right, Siobhan, what are your thoughts about it? Women should date multiple men at a time to explore their options.
Hell yeah. You got to. You got to talk to more than one person, because if you don't, okay, especially, well, I guess it depends what age too. So if you're, like, younger, of course we're going to talk to multiple people. Like, you just have to. Like, we're in an age where people, like, serial date, okay? We are. Like, have some fun. You know, maybe you can have somebody that you're, you know, laying down with, and another one to like take you out, and then another one to do this and have fun. Like different, like even our friends, we have friends that are like that. You can only go to the club with this person, or, you know, this and that. Like it's the same thing.
Okay. Coach K, what are your thoughts?
I don't think, I mean, what are the definitions? You know what I mean? I think if you're talking and then you find interest in someone that you want to court or date or whatever, I think you should do it one at a time, because our brains aren't supposed to multitask, because it's like you're giving a little bit of attention to all these different guys, and then in essence, they're not getting your full attention, and then it's not going to work. You're kind of like setting yourself up for failure, I think. I think you should do it one at a time, you know, get clear, get focused. And then if it doesn't work, then you know right out the gate, versus prolonging it when you would have known this from the start if you had focused on him and him only. So that's what I got.
All right, B. Taylor, what are your thoughts? Women should date multiple men at a time to explore their options.
So I've been in both situations. When I started dating, I would date one at a time, and I realized that didn't work for me personally because I get attached and I wear my heart on my sleeve. So I would get very upset if the guy didn't take me serious, or I found out he was talking to somebody else and I wasn't. I would feel some type of way. So to protect myself, to tell other women that are like me, I say it's okay to date other men. Now, you're going to have a roster. I think it's safe to have a roster. You always going to have your favorite, you know, and that's the one that you give the most attention to and take serious, while the other ones, you kind of got them on standby, kind of texting them from time to time, especially when you're like by yourself and he tripping a little bit or something. You texting your other roster of men, you know, to kind of keep you distracted. And, you know, let the best man win, because when your favorite team player is not playing right, you kick him to the curb and upgrade somebody else.
What? I like you, girl. I like you.
If men look for loyalty, why would he take you serious if you have a whole roster?
If he's looking for loyalty, then he would commit to me. But I'm not committing to anybody
well,
that
I'm dating.
Like
you have to show him what he's gonna get.
But what's
so like if he's getting this already, if he's already getting that like disloyalty before he's even in a relationship.
Disloyalty? I don't owe no loyalty to no man I'm dating.
You're right. You don't owe it. It's not
right.
Like,
he don't owe me loyalty.
He's not entitled to it, but I think he's more likely to give it to you if you're
I'm telling you, I've been in both situations, and that sounds nice. I wish that was the case, but I've been in both situations and I got played every time, and it hurt my feelings dearly and then when I told him that's not fair, you're talking to, he's like, we're not together. He'll hit me with that, we're not together. So until a man commits to me and show me that he wants to take me serious and showing me consistency, the dating world is piss poor. The dating world is piss poor out there, and it's a lot out there. So you're going to run across really messed up people that's, you know, have bad agendas. You know, they're trying to use you. They're trying to play games with you. They may have you on their roster. You don't know what you're getting until that man takes you serious and start being consistent. Then you slowly start kind of taking him serious until that man say, hey, I want to take things to the next level. You're not just somebody I'm dating anymore. I exclusively want to court you. Then that's when you, as a woman, then that's when you say, okay, I'm going to exclusively date him and take him serious until he tells me he's committed to me. There's a lot of women out here committed to men who's not committed to them. And I don't know what your situation is and how your dating world is, but I'm telling you, I've been on both sides.
But don't you kind of see how serious he's
hold on
until you give her a ring. That's what I'm getting.
Huh?
You're gonna be a hoe until you get a ring.
First of all, who said I'm fooling anybody? How am I being a hoe? What is the definition of a hoe? Please tell me.
So how do you expect a man to take you serious when you're also vetting multiple men?
So that makes me a hoe because my legs are closed.
It don't matter. I look how men look at it. It doesn't matter if you're smashing or not.
Hold on, Logic. You're not going for that, are you?
No, wait, hold up.
No, the last thing that she said, you're not going for that, are you?
I ain't going for it. I'm with it.
I just wanted to make sure that we was all on the same page.
I'm gonna tag you in there. Hold on. I'm just get this out. Because see, B Taylor, if I'm with a chick that I might be interested in, and I know that she's dealing with multiple men at the same
Why
time,
would you know? Why would I let you know?
and that's even worse. That's even worse, B Taylor.
Why?
Go ahead, Anton. You got it.
Hold on, Anton. I want to get back to Miss Pearl.
I was gonna go to her. That's what I was about to do.
All right, go ahead.
I mean, guys can kind of tell by how attached you get. I mean, that's what I've heard from guys. Is like they can kind of tell like how attached you get, and even if he is dating other girls, like how many girls is he really dating? Like you can kind of tell how serious a guy takes you by how much time he gives you.
Right.
So I've talked to a lot of guys that are like I'll talk to guys like that have like had rotations or wherever, and I'm like, on average, how many are there really? And they're like 2, 3 at most. And it's like, okay, it's not like he's screwing the whole town. I'm just saying, like, you'll see how serious he's taking you based on how much time he's giving you. And if he's not giving you the time, then it's like you cut it and move on.
Yeah, that's why you keep them in rotation so you can have somebody else to move.
No, not a backup plan. Not a backup plan. It's like,
baby, when your plan A keep failing you, you're gonna understand where I'm coming from. But okay.
Yeah, but how is the guy that's why did you put your username? How is the guy that's plan B supposed to feel? You know what I mean?
You don't know plan B. You don't let nobody know your plan.
Yes, they do. Just like you know when you're a guy's plan B. Because like deep down, people
know how many women are married to men that are men's plan B?
Say that again.
I said, you know how many men married their plan B?
I mean, I don't think it's necessarily their plan B. I think it's the girl that was there at the right time. Like I asked guys,
but every most men have definitely said they lost a good woman because they met her at the wrong time.
Yeah,
but then when he tried to circle back and try to get her back, he couldn't get her, so he lost the love of his life. So not to say that his wife is any less than plan A, it's just that is his plan B.
Yep.
Well, I think men love like differently. I mean, I think men kind of love like differently than women. So like men can love more than one girl at the same time. So I think it's just kind of different.
Where did you learn that concept?
I was just talking to guys.
Did you learn it? Did you learn it from? Did your father also teach you that he loves more than one woman, or no?
Or did you learn that from experience?
No, it's just like talking to guys when they talk about like their ex-girlfriends and stuff. It seems like if a guy loves a girl like once, he kind of always does. I mean, not every guys are different, but no, my parents met when they were like teenagers, so they only loved each other.
But
so I guess they're each other's plan A's.
Right. So your dad is dedicated to your mom, or is he loving on other women? Because you said that.
Oh no, my dad doesn't cheat.
Okay, so men can.
I mean, he just married like the first, so they used to do that back then.
All right, let me get to Let me get to Carmen, and then we'll get to the gas. Women should date multiple men at a time to explore their options. What are your thoughts, Carmen?
So I usually try to take the stance of not really taking a position of what women should do, but I would say as women, we should really consider how susceptible we are to conditioning. And when we condition ourselves to feed on validation from a variety of men, I don't think that those are habits that are conducive to our own devotion in the long run, right? So I think that naturally, kind of like Pearl was saying, I mean, we are more programmed to be attached to men more quickly, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think when we fight against our nature, that it negatively affects the outcome, right? So I think that a lot of the things that I sort of learned through a lot of the mistakes that I made was that I wasn't really, I mean, as cliche as it sounds, like I really didn't understand myself, right? So I didn't understand why I wasn't getting the results that I wanted, but it's because my behaviors were not conducive to the end result that I wanted, right? And not necessarily like going out, but just in interaction with men. I mean, I won't go into all of the things, but I think, again, like if you have a rotation and do those things, I mean, if it works for that woman and she finds what she's looking for and she's fulfilled through that, I mean, more power to her. But just the creature that we are as women, I really don't think that's very conducive to our own long-term fulfillment, because we are quite literally programming ourselves to feed on multiple sources of validation, the same way with social media and things like that. It's like a microcosm of that same thing. We're interacting with men for different reasons to fulfill different needs. And I think that it ultimately may make it more challenging to be content with the validation of one man. And I think that also, when we put ourselves in the frame of mind that the man has to earn us, that's also kind of operating out of position. Like, I know that some people maybe take a different opinion, but I think that as a woman, it is more properly our position to show a man our devotion and earn his commitment versus him earning ours. That's my take.
Okay. All right, let's start to get to the gentleman. Go ahead, Anton.
I wanted to hear what, I don't know if Coach K had went.
Yeah, I did.
Siobhan, did you go? You went too, right? Okay. Now, first of all,
when I was talking,
it's a lot of cap on this panel. B. Taylor, if you sitting here trying to sell us on the idea that you're not busting it open, when you talking to multiple different dudes, I'm not going for it.
You don't have to. I was celibate for 4 years. I know how to. I'm
So,
very.
wait a minute. So you telling me that you was dating how many different dudes at the same time, and none of them was busting it open?
None. Because I wanted to protect myself. I had to learn the hard way to protect myself. So
all right, what did it trans? So did you wind up getting married as a result of it?
Not yet, but I will.
So to answer the question specifically, one thing that I don't agree with and that women have to learn is y'all are not men. You cannot operate like a man. You are a completely different species. You are a completely different being. You got a completely different perspective on how it is that you're supposed to move, right? And so when I say that, the biggest red flag that I get is when women start to say, well, men do it, or isn't men like this, or whatever. Listen, I've never seen a guy that sit there and say, well, women do it, so I should be able to do it too. Mm-hmm. Why would you compare yourself and try to put yourself in the same frame as a man? That's A. B, a lot of times, because women are more emotional and women are more nurturing, they can't help but to get attached. And when you see a woman that starts to operate with the same perspective as a man, that's the biggest red flag ever. It's the biggest red flag ever. C, when a woman is talking to multiple different dudes, it's inevitable that she's going to get attached to one or the other, right? It's the reason why guys care so much about body count. And it's not that they're going to sit there and ask you what your body count is, but you can't unsee all of the different experiences that you had with multiple different men, which is why men would prefer women that don't have or have never been with another guy, and why it's important a lot of times for women to get married early, because what happens is they start to, your body is built to take, right? And it changes every single time something enters it. Mm-hmm. It evolves every single time you have a new experience with a guy, and you will never be able to unsee that. So what you're doing is, a lot of these broken relationships, you're taking them from person to person and they're compounding. And then you bring that new issue into a new relationship with a new guy that can then see all of your trauma and your issues. And then y'all start the trauma bond. But more importantly, he understands that you also dating multiple guys. And so he don't look at you as a chick that he would marry in the first place. Because why would I try to compete with another dude, especially if I'm a guy that's winning? Because y'all say y'all want all of these dope dudes, right? And if you get a guy that's winning, because we only get better with time, we make more money, right? Our peak earning season isn't until our late 50s, early 60s. Why would we settle for you instead of just keeping you on a roster, right? Mm-hmm. We have all the options in the world. You just you a moment. You are but a vapor in the air. We will hit it and don't even remember your name the millisecond after we get our post-nut clarity. What makes y'all think that y'all that relevant in our minds?
So you mixed two things. You said that a woman who has trauma, unhealed trauma, so she's walking around already broken. At that point, it doesn't matter if she's dating multiple men. That man has to have the discernment to say this woman is not a woman that needs to be in a relationship. So that's two things in one that you're kind of like putting
No, but
up
what
in
you
one.
don't understand is that most of the time you don't know that you broken. You think that you just
why you
broke and
take
that
the time
you weighing your options, but you don't know that you broken, A, and B, just because he fucking you don't mean that he necessarily looking to marry you.
But that's assuming that women are out here having sex. And I'm not saying that it's not women out here that's not doing that. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm saying that it is smart to keep your legs closed. And in today's dating world in 2022 with these type of men, they may not be like you. They may not be like you. So therefore, these men in 2022, you need to expand your options, or you're going to be walking around heartbroken, not the men.
If you are trying to talk to a dude that is winning, go ahead, Pearl.
It's not the men in 2022. It's the men you pick. 1 out of 3 men are either virgins or
I don't pick them. They come to me, and there's attraction.
You are what you. Hey, let me finish. Let me finish. You gotta let me finish.
You jumped in between a conversation.
One in
3 men are either virgins or they haven't had sex in the past year. So there's a plethora of men that will be faithful to you and won't play these games. They're just not the men you want.
Women aren't going to be attracted to that en masse ever.
No, I understand that, but it's like you are what you attract. Like, so you can't generalize all of men.
You not are what you attract. You are what you put up with. Thank you. If you're beautiful, you attract all types of men.
But why would you? But wait. But
character is like a magnet.
I just got one question. Why would you want to attract all types of men when you only got to get it right once?
I didn't say you have to. I said that if you're beautiful, you're going to attract all types of men.
No.
It's
But guys
put up with.
Why do you think that why do you think that they would attract themselves to you if you're beautiful? My point is the person that you marry has to be the substance has to be much greater than skin deep. What we're looking to marry, which is why I say you got to get it right once, is not based off of whatever it is that you think that you're putting on your face. It don't have nothing to do with beauty per se alone. That's not the primary reason why we decide to marry you. Your beauty is not going to be the determining factor for whether or not I want you to have my kid.
Thanks. Hey, Anton, I got Phil Jackson on the phone right now. Hey, Phil, how many people you had in your rotation to run the triangle offense? Only 7? B. Teller. The great Phil Jackson only had 7 people in his rotation to run the triangle offense. So even he said that's too many, man. And he's a man that coached a football team. Shout out to Coach K.
But I never gave a number.
But if you telling me that you saying you want to rotate them, the thing is you're not looking at. Look, if I was to date you and I was to find out that you got all the, you know what? If you got 2 in rotation, you know what I'm gonna do? How do you think I'm gonna take you serious, man? Do you think I'm gonna take you serious when I know you got another man in the rotation? Waiting on me to fail.
If a man wants me to drop my rotation, take me serious.
Well, I mean, he's dealing with you, so I mean,
no, that doesn't mean anything. He can have ill intentions.
Y'all not having sex, right?
No, I'm saying he can have ill intentions. So that does not mean just because he's giving me attention, it's pure intentions to marry me. And okay, so I'm not a psychic. Like
one minute. Hey, Bill Belichick is on the phone right now, and he said he run his defense, and he only have a 11-man rotation, and it got to be 12 people. Look, ma'am, nobody have rotations like that, especially a woman. If you're trying to compare yourself to a man in any kind of capacity,
I never try to compare myself to a man.
Well, you are.
But I'm not.
You don't have rotations, ma'am.
I think that men just have a lot of pride and ego to think that how dare she not be all over me.
All right, let me see if I can slide.
I'm sorry, Anton. How many people is enough for like a roster? Like how many? Like talking about like 2, talking about 3, 4.
It depends on the woman. Like if you have a guy that's like on standby,
woman,
you never went on a date with him. He may just compliment you from time to time, or you may have given your number to him. Then you have your main guy that's you're actually really pursuing. Then you have a guy that probably took you out on a date, but you're not really talking to him every day. It's just kind of like, oh, hey, what's up? How are you? Like, it's nothing like where I'm going on dates every weekend with different dudes of the week. Like, that's not what a roster. That's why I'm not trying to compare myself to men, because I'm not gonna move like a man. Move like a man.
All right, so
but it's like you're taking attention from guys, so you're kind of using other guys for attention.
Men use women all the time. That's
why is this? Why is this? Let's point the fingers.
No, it's a balance, right? It's a balance. It's not a point of finger. It's calling out facts, right?
And some men do. The majority of men don't get to use women. The majority of men don't get sex on a regular basis. It's not easy for them to get.
Okay.
And so
I don't know
a
what
small
men you
percentage.
talk to, but I know men that's around me, they be getting the cheeks.
Well, because you only see a small percentage of men.
So Pearl, can I ask you something? So, okay, you know how a lot of people use social media and different dating apps and stuff to date people, right? And some of these people, you never talk to them on the phone, or you're just texting. Like, is it bad to like kind of talk to multiple people or have a roster when you're on social media and have a dating app?
I mean, are you dating someone?
Oh, I wasn't talking about me personally. I was just asking, just a question.
Okay, so, I mean, I think if you're dating someone, you should focus on them. And if it doesn't work out, then find someone else.
How does that work for you, Pearly? Are you actively dating?
I keep my dating life off of the internet, but
so you
girl. All right, let me try to interject, man, for y'all going in personal business.
It works so well. We just want to know the results. If you're going to be giving all this advice,
I don't actually really give advice. I was asked a question, but okay.
All right, let's go ahead and get the bruiser. Let's get to the men so we can go ahead and close this one out. Go ahead, bruiser.
All right. So women, what do you say? Women should, hell no. Because, women are becoming more and more promiscuous. The sexual norm today has made coochie discipline a thing of the past. So they're not going to just go on a date to vet. I don't believe that. They're going to bust it open, especially if the brother look decent and got a little bread. So, yeah, if you recognize your value and the type of man you qualify for, you know what I'm saying? For your own good, you got to be precise. Don't waste your time with men who can't recognize and accept the value you have to offer, because whether you believe it or not, you're not always going to be able to offer the value you currently have. That's what Anton was talking about. As you get older, and I think Pearly Things said it on one of her shows. I think she did a comparison of a man being 40 and a woman being 40. A man can attract a 25-year-old versus a 40 woman. She can't attract a 25-year-old. Because she's close to having geriatric pregnancies.
She can for sex, but yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead.
All right, go ahead, Logic, and take us home on this one.
Oh, I'm just keeping score. That's it.
Hey, you messed my whole train of thought up with the score, dog.
Oh, ding, 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 ding. Next round, I'm keeping score.
All right, well, if you guys are just tuning in, you got something else to say, Bruiser? Okay.
No, man. Go ahead, Logic, with that, man.
If you guys just tuning in, welcome to Lapeef. Let's
go ahead. Wait. Hold up, Bruiser. Go ahead and what? The truth?
No, go ahead, man. It's just funny, man. I see what you're trying to.
The truth ain't funny. The truth is real. You know what I'm saying? B Teller been on the rope the whole time. Hey, shit. Chat. Y'all drop the score in the chat. Drop the score. We'll let the chat do it.
I should have. Does that say Mr. Pearly?
That's my new name from every episode now.
Well, I guess I am married now, right? That was quick.
If you guys just tuning in, welcome to Lapeef Let's Talk. Make sure we get the likes up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. There are so many super chats. I'm not sure if I'm able to get to all of them, but thank you. If I don't read them, it's nothing personal. It's just piling up quick. We appreciate all the support. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Moving on to our next topic of the night. It's time to switch it up a little bit. Can a relationship or marriage last if a woman doesn't orgasm? Can a relationship or marriage last if the woman doesn't orgasm?
No.
Yeah, you can't get a rose.
Yeah, Siobhan, you singing that? Go ahead. What are your thoughts? You go first.
Yeah, absolutely not. Okay. Well, okay, no, I take that back. It can last, and there are some things that can be taught. There are actually a lot of things that can be taught. Okay. Sometimes when you are with the person, they just might not fully know everything, every angle, everything, and then you could just tell them, like, hey, I like it like this, do this, keep doing that, and then you're just happy, and then eventually it'll get there. But again, like I said, about maybe a month or so ago, there are classes, couple classes that you guys can take, that you guys can be closer and be one and understand each other on a sexual basis. It's there. Use your resources.
Okay. Coach K, what are your thoughts? Can relationship marriage last if a woman doesn't orgasm?
I'm gonna focus on marriage for this one. I agree with Siobhan. I think it's something that you and your husband can work through. I'm sure. I mean, let's be honest. You probably had sex before you got married, but it's something you guys can work through together, learn each other better, and grow stronger, and figure things out. And it takes time, and I think you guys will be better for it. So I don't see why not.
All right, Carmen.
So just going off the question, like if she doesn't, if I'm applying that like in the long term, if she doesn't, I guess I would say, yeah, depending on how effectively he dominates her mind, right? So if she feels in the proper submissive position mentally, I think that long term, yes, it can still last and will naturally sort of evolve to be a better sexual dynamic. But I mean, I guess it kind of depends on the woman too. It depends on if she can do that herself without I think there are a lot of caveats there, but yes, I think it can.
Okay. Pearl.
I feel like you should as a girl be able to do that yourself.
Without a toy.
No, I mean even I don't want to say too much. But even during, I feel like you can do that yourself. So I don't know.
What do you think? Introduce stuff like toys or something? Is that what you're saying?
No, I feel like if the sex is bad as a girl, it's your own fault. Tell them what you want to do. Most guys they'll listen.
That's true, Pearl. They will.
I don't know. All right, B. Taylor.
Oh, wait. So what is the initial question? Is it
Can a relationship? Yeah. Can a relationship or marriage last if the woman does not orgasm?
Yeah, it can, because there's so many women in relationships today and never had one. So, and they dealing with it. Some women don't even know they can do it. I do agree with Pearly, surprisingly, on this one, because it is up to the woman to know her body, to know what she likes, what she don't like. And women need to start speaking up. Stop faking it, because you're faking it. Some women take pleasure in sex just by pleasing the man, but once you realize that the man can be pleased with a sock, and it don't even matter what it is, he gonna come. Okay, so on that point, it's men, you want your man to enjoy sex, you start learning your body and enjoying it. So what I would suggest for women to start speaking up and telling a man what she likes, and then also exploring her own body, because you can orgasm. You just got to know what it takes for you to orgasm, and you do that by yourself. And then once you start doing that, you and your man will have the best sex. So that's just my suggestion.
Or get the rose.
You don't even need a rose if you actually know how to really. Your body will do things when you actually spend time with yourself. You don't even need that.
No, I agree with you. I do think that a lot of people do need to understand themselves. I think a lot of people think they know themselves, but they really don't. But I mean, they have to get curious enough to be able to get to that point.
Hey, Jay, I want to concede my time to Representative Pearl.
All right. This is a question that I thought the women would answer. Go ahead, Pearl. What you want to say?
I don't really have anything else to add. I think
Yeah,
covered it.
All right, I'm gonna move on.
I'll give him my time back.
Okay, I'm gonna move on unless a guy got experience or something like that. You want to speak on about this? Anything from the men?
No, I can answer it, but I'm gonna let Bruiser go first. From what I hear from most women, most of them that are in relationships aren't having orgasms like that in any way. Most women that are in relationships aren't having orgasms. That's what a lot of these women that call for these coaching calls, we be in the rooms and having these panels, and when women get by themselves and it ain't no men in there, they say that a lot of them don't have orgasms from sex. That's what they say. And so I don't know if they having them on their own or they finishing themselves off afterward or whatever, but a lot of them are saying that they don't have orgasm from sex. And so if you asking if relationships can last, I don't think that they last forever, and that woman can operate and stay safe from the wolves out here in the streets for a long time, with that just being the standard without it ever changing and evolving and something coming to a head or to fruition, because it's too much visibility, it's too much temptation, it's too much out here, and it's a dude out there that's gonna change your life and just completely upend everything. It's a dude out there that's just gonna completely rule our world, and it's gonna change your life forever. So it can't last forever in that state, but can it temporarily exist for a while until she figure it out? Yeah, it could happen, because a lot of women do. But I think that if she ever get unlocked and it ain't from the person that she with, she gone forever. She for the streets after that.
So all I can say is, man, just communicate with your woman and figure out what she like, get her comfortable. And what me and my wife do is probably don't need to, I'll pass on that.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah.
Well, you gotta understand that a lot of dudes don't know how to pull that out of a chick. They really don't. They don't know how to pull it out because every chick is completely different. And so you take that one size fits all solution and approach to a woman, and she don't even know her own body in a lot of instances, and you don't know how to pull that out of her. It's a wrap. It's gonna be a wrap when that dude pull it out of her. She over forever.
I answered not JR, since my Pearl gave me back my time. The thing is in order to first, you got to make a man care about you even having an orgasm. So y'all hear me here saying a lot of times it's two different types of nut. It's a club nut, and it's a nut that you actually care about. If you actually care about the woman, you'll get a different, you know what I'm saying? It hits different. So by me saying that, if you meet somebody, he don't know your name, he don't care about you, you're going to get that type of reaction from him. You're going to get a pump and dump type of reaction, right? He going to just try to get his strokes in, and he going to try to get him. He not even thinking about you even or orgasm at all. But if you play these things, if you invest in him, if he cares about you, I think I said this on shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. He did a clip with me. If you actually play, you know what I'm saying, you get in his mind, you enter in his world, you play all these different things to him, it affects him mentally. And that's what chicks don't understand. If you mentally get in that guy's mind, he will actually try to get you to that point where you even think about getting an orgasm. But if you're a random jump out from the street, you got a rotation of 7 dudes? Huh? You think I'm gonna put in work for a chick that got a B Taylor Rolodex? Nah, I ain't finna put in no work for that. Why? I'm gonna try to get me, and I'm gonna be out. But if you play it right, everything will play out. You will benefit in the long run. Put the man first, he will put you first. First and only.
Well,
Not
if
number 3, number 4, none of that. First,
if you get a chick emotionally gone, a lot of sex is foreplay. Like a lot of the getting her to that point is before you ever even pull, you know what I'm saying? You even get to her physically. A lot of it is all up here. If she emotionally connected to you and she emotionally attached, you can get her gone soon as you get to her. But a lot of people don't get to that point, and a lot of women don't get to that point. And a lot of it, I'll give you another example, is because women try to think like men. They try to operate like men, and you can't operate in the same frame or the same mindset as men and think that you can do the same thing that men do and have the same results. It don't work like that. Y'all not built like us.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean with regard to what you're talking about, that women are
Amazon
operating like
position.
That Amazon they can't operate like men. Like it's a lot of women that think that they can just rack up bodies like men can, right?
So
men,
like as far as, were you talking about like
having a lot of sex with a lot of different guys? You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. I thought you were sort of more going in depth about like the sexual evolution between two people, that she was operating like a man. I thought that's what you were saying.
No. I'm saying that a guy can have, Pearl said it earlier in the stream, a guy can love more than one woman. Like he can genuinely love more than one woman at the same time. That's just facts. It just is what it is. It's just the biological nature of a guy. That's just how he moves. A guy can bust down a chick and get his nut off, and then that's gonna be that, right? And at the same time, he can mess with a completely different chick, get his nut off, and then get post nut clarity and don't even remember that chick name the millisecond that he get his nut off, right? And a lot of women think that they can operate from a sexual perspective the same way that men can, and they don't know what they're doing to themselves. They absolutely ruining themselves for the future and for the future guy that they want to marry and get in a relationship with.
Is there a study behind any of that, what you said, where a man can be in love with more than one woman?
It's called Mr. Logic 101. It's certified.
So this is just from experience, or is this just from, like, I'm just trying to get
close. You don't want to hear? It's Mr. Logic 101.
I've here. Okay, well, let me give you my anecdotal experience, right? I've literally coached hundreds and hundreds of men. And men can absolutely love more than one woman at the same time.
So how many of those hundreds of men have been in that situation where they're telling you that they're in love with more than one woman?
I didn't say in love. I said they can love more than one woman.
Well, isn't that
it's not the same? It's not the same.
So how many men can be in love with two women at the same time?
What do you mean, how many men? I said love. I don't know if you understand what I said. So you asking me a completely separate question. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm asking
look at the chat. They're going to literally tell you. All of these guys are saying is facts.
But this is YouTube. So I'm just, I want to hear from like your.
But I also told you that I coached hundreds and hundreds of men. I can show you my schedule, and I got about 5 men lined up tomorrow to coach.
But B. Taylor, love is here it
about
is. Love
relationships specifically. And
love
and
is a choice.
Well, hold on. Let me help her to understand something. See, when I talk to guys, I don't talk to guys from the perspective of giving them a one-size-fits-all answer. I build a relationship because I understand what their past is. I understand what it is that they're trying to accomplish. I learn to understand them in the first instance that I speak to them, so that we actually have more conducive conversations that allow them to get to where it is that they try to go. I reverse engineer what it is that they're trying to do. So I understand where they came from. I understand where they're trying to go. And then I reverse engineer the solution for them. I understand them. When I talk to my guys, I know them. I know them, and I know what they feel because they actually express themselves to me, and they tell me, and they let me know what they really think. And I've talked to hundreds of men, and I'm telling you, they can love more than one woman at the same time.
Are these men of different races?
Yes. I just got done talking to an Asian guy probably a little bit before I got on this panel.
And that they're in love with more than one. Oh, they love. Because love, I agree with Bruiser. Love is an action. It's love is.
Yeah, and they do that action with more than one woman.
So where do you get that women can't do the same thing? That we're not programmed for that?
That's not what I said. I said women shouldn't operate in the same way when it comes to having sex with multiple different partners in the way that men do. That's what I said.
There's no benefit for the woman to do that, to operate like that.
So is there a benefit for?
You can't trick me up because I know what I said.
Is there a benefit for a woman to be with a man that's doing that? Because there's STI.
Let me ask you a question. How about I answer your question? Why don't you sleep with men right now?
Why don't I sleep around with men? Because
why are you celibate for the last apparent 4 years and haven't slept with a man?
I said before I was in a relationship.
Oh, so you're not celibate. Okay. Why didn't you sleep with multiple different men at the same time?
I never done that.
Why didn't you do it?
Ask me why.
Why haven't I done that? Because
why you keep repeating the question like you don't know what I said?
I'm trying to get clarity of what you're saying.
You write everything down. You've been getting clarity all night.
Yeah,
why didn't you sleep with multiple different men at the same time?
Because obviously I know my self-worth and value. And I know that I'm not just going to give anybody my body because I want to protect myself. Just like I'm not giving my body to men who's giving his body to different women, because whoever he's sleeping with, he's still bringing back spiritually and physically whatever he's been dipping out there. Because who's to say the women he's been dipping with aren't sleeping with other men? So
you also added the caveat, which substantiates my point. My point is you didn't want the soul ties. You didn't want the attachments and the problems that came along with having a sexual relationship, because you understand that it's just as much as an emotional action for a woman as it is a physical action. And you didn't want to carry that into future relationships, which substantiates my point. Women can't operate in the same way that men operate, because men can completely detach themselves from whoever it is that they had sex with and then continue to move forward.
But
women can't do that.
From STIs and BV.
You moving to go. We're not talking about STIs. We're talking about women can't do the same things when it comes to having sex with multiple different partners and walk away from it the same way that men can.
So is the narrative that men can, just because a man can do it, should he?
That's not what we're talking about.
But since we're talking about it, I'm asking.
No, I don't believe in men should being able to sleep around. Absolutely not.
All right, we gotta get final thoughts on this, y'all. We gotta get final thoughts on this. Anybody want to close us out on this?
Yeah, Pearly, 322, detail of 10.
All right, if you guys are just tuning in, welcome to Lapeef Let's Talk. Make sure we get the likes up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I don't know what the like count looking at, but we should be at least at 3,000 likes. So if you haven't already, take the moment, hit the likes. The likes are free. That's all we ask. Thank you for all the super chat that has come through thus far. I can't get to all of them, but we most certainly appreciate all the donations. And for everybody that's watching, that's not in the chat, and that's not super chatting, we appreciate you too. With that being said, let's move on to our next topic of the night. Can a man make a woman happy without no money? Can a man make a woman happy without no money?
I'm gonna let
ladies
go.
I'm gonna start with the ladies. Go ahead, Coach K.
In what I teach my clients and what I believe, someone outside of you does not make you happy. You have to choose to be happy. And I think most people would agree that we want to be with a man that doesn't have, anything to his name? Probably not. So it just depends. I don't think you want to be happy, but I'm not going to be like, I don't know. I'm not going to be unhappy. It's not my first choice though. That's for sure. So, but I don't think a man makes anyone. No one makes me happy besides me. So.
Ding, 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 ding.
You muted, JR. You muted.
Okay, I'm going to Bruiser, then Curse for life. Bruiser, can a man make a woman happy with no money?
No, he can't make her happy with or without money. Period. A woman's happiness is unquenchable thirst. A woman's happiness changes with her feelings, and when her feelings change, her happiness changes. You can be the Tom Brady of the world. You can be Steph Curry. Once she decide that she unhappy, she bouncing. It don't matter if you give her the world.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, you lost this fucker.
All right, Siobhan, I'm gonna go to you after Curse for life. Go ahead, Curves of Life. Can a man make a woman happy without no money?
I think it depends on the woman, but ultimately happiness does come from you yourself. But most women want things. I can't speak for everybody, but most women like a man with money. It really just depends on the woman. But some women are okay with being with a broke man or being with a man who may want to go 50-50. Some women are okay with that. Some women absolutely not. So I guess it just depends on the woman.
Okay. Siobhan, I know you disagree with Bruiser. Can a man make a woman happy without no money?
So this kind of goes back to what I said about the $40,000. Like, $40,000 is no money, okay? And you just can't live well and be happy. When a woman is stressed out about bills and how the kids are gonna go to daycare and who's putting the presents under the tree, like, that's a lot. And when as a woman, if you're happy and then your children are happy and you guys essentially have the world, whatever that is, it involves money, and comfortability makes people happy. So I personally couldn't, I just could not be happy without enough money, essentially, right? Because I like living comfortable. I do. And of course, we have our idea of what makes us happy. There are things that I have to love myself first and be happy within myself, by all means. But we also have to take into accountability that in order for us to sustain that happiness and to be in a good space every single day, it involves money. And if you don't have any, just sucks.
All right. Go to B. Taylor.
So can a man with no resources make a woman happy in the long run? No. There's no, when Siobhan said about the 40K a year, I disagree, just because it depends on the age and what city you live in. Because there are a lot of men who are probably in their 20s or late 20s, just now getting started in their career. And reality is, not everybody's starting off making six figures. Not everybody is an influencer. Not everybody has their own business. So I give credit to the men who are making 40K a year and have a plan to make more. Not potential, but actually working towards that goal. So I want to give credit to those men, because I think they get a lot of slack already. What I can say is that in the long run, as the economy moves up, you do need to make more, because how are we going to build a family? How are we going to buy a home? How are we going to, live a simple, it's okay if you want to live a simple lifestyle. It doesn't take much money to live a simple lifestyle. So it just depends on the woman. If you have a woman that wants a man to support a certain lifestyle, then don't get with that woman. But there's a lot of women who are okay with a simple lifestyle, a small home, a comfortable home, and she'll make it home. Maybe one kid, maybe even two, and limit it to that. It just depends where you live. But I do think that a man needs to have resources, because a man's identity is tied to his income. So if he's not able to provide in a way for his family, then he's not going to be the best man that he can be. So I think it is important to a woman, because he's not going to be the best man that he can be if he cannot provide for his family.
But B. Taylor, do you really think that, and you talked about the economy, right? And we all see where it's going, right? Interest rates are up the roof. Do you really think that somebody can get a house, whether it's small or not, with $40,000?
It will obviously need two incomes. It would need two incomes, but that's the reality in today's world, that a lot of people need two incomes to survive.
Right. But with resources, a lot of people aren't allotted those opportunities to even be able to get to those resources. So how is somebody that thinks that 40,000 is probably a lot to them, when it comes to other people, it's not a lot, and you can't sustain with $40,000?
There's some people who is making way less than that and they're surviving.
Yeah, so, but people don't want to survive, though, sis. Like, people.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm just saying that
is it the man? Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying that nobody's celebrating making 40K a year. That's just some people's reality. And that doesn't say that they can't move up to make more, you know. But when we knock a man that's like, man, I'm so proud. I was making 28,000 this year and now I'm making 40. And then you hear women say, you ain't da 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 da. That's so discouraging, because I would hate to be a man in today's society knowing that I'm trying to, you know, bust my ass to provide for myself and my future family, and I'm steady getting knocked down. So I don't like that narrative. But I do agree that a man should never just want to stay in that position or think that 40,000 is the standard and normalize it. It's just the statistic and reality that a lot of men are making that amount of money.
Isn't that the average income in the U.S., like 45 or something? Am I wrong?
Income is like 55,000.
Yeah, it's like 50. I think the last I seen was like 56 or something.
Oh, it's gone up since last time I checked it. Because I'm just thinking, you mentioned own a home. Like, do you have to own a home? Can't you rent?
Yeah, but if you really look at it, if you're owning a home, that's better for your buck. Because when you are renting, you're essentially paying for this man at the top. You're making him richer.
Because you're making the home richer. If that's your husband that you're building with, you're not thinking in that way of like you're making him richer, you're making the home.
No. Sometimes
what's more important, like the lifestyle or the man? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I wasn't talking about the actual man. I was talking about just, she was saying own a home or you're renting. That's what I mean. But I understand where you're coming from, B. Taylor. But yeah.
So if the average man makes 50K, what do we say to all the women that are married to these men? Are they just like settling, or can they just not be happy, I guess? Because it's actually shocking to look at the stats and how few men do make six figures. It's pretty crazy when you really think about it.
Well, you know what? The mothers that want to work from home or be stay-at-home mothers can't. They have to work, and they have to at least make $50,000 to $60,000 because that's the only way they're going to sustain, especially if they have children.
All right.
So they just won't be happy then, I guess, right? Then, like do we believe that like women can be happy if their guy is only making, you know, the average salary?
No, they can be happy.
I think they can be. It's just like a lot of women want the lifestyle over the man, and so they feel like they can't be happy. Like if they have to go down in lifestyle to have like a family, they aren't happy.
But they're not happy because they're stressed. Like they have a lot to, you know, their day to day is going to be stress. I'm not saying it's not stressful for the man either, but what I am saying is that instead of kind of walking in the house and being like, hey, you know, I've been in here, I've been, you know, doing X, Y, and Z. You know, now you have to worry about this. Now you got to sit down and talk about your expenses. Now you got to figure out and have a spreadsheet.
I mean, that probably happens with people that make a lot of money too, though.
I mean, we have a higher standard of living than anyone did ever in all of human history, even if you're in the lowest income.
Facts.
It's because of social media. Social media has given us a reality of other people, big houses, cars, and you know, a lot of influencers, they have to pretend that they make actual money for people to actually want to follow them.
Y'all are so wrong. Y'all are all so wrong. Dead wrong. It's not enough. Inflation is at 8.5%, 9%. It's bad out here. The average retirement account has $65,000 in it. It's not enough. You can't survive. The average person that's coming back into the workforce, and you can actually look this up. This is a statistical fact by leaps and bounds. That's coming back into the workforce is above 70 years old. It's not enough. The people of yesteryear did it wrong, and they're just now seeing the fruits of their labor, and they have to re-enter the workforce, and they dying broke, and all of this other type of stuff. It's not enough. And I'm telling you that. Go ahead. The average millennial making $100,000 and more is living paycheck to paycheck. That is a fact. Homelessness is rampant. Most rent is going up exponentially above the rate of inflation. The cost of chicken wings is double. I'm telling you, it's not enough.
Anton, do you know I tried to buy some like a pack of water today, and it cost $20 in Walmart. 20.
Where do you live?
How much? I have a question.
In the wrong place.
Well, the paycheck to paycheck stats aren't always necessarily accurate because a lot of people have bad like spending habits.
Thank you.
Especially women in general. Like we make 70 to 80%
loans.
of consumer buying decisions. We spend more even though we make less. And I'm just thinking because I'm not going to pretend like I've done the math on all this, so I don't actually know. So, but I think of like my mom's hometown, and like those guys make probably below the average income. They have like 4 or 5 kids, and they save up for retirement. They just live a very like frugal lifestyle to the point like they don't buy new clothes. Like all the kids wear the same clothes. They cook like chicken and rice every night. Like it's just a very frugal lifestyle. Again, I'm not gonna.
What hometown is that?
Pearl.
But so my question is, how much money would you say is necessary, Anton?
It depends on if you want to have kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So how many kids you have? Because we come from an environment where it's not abnormal to see great grandmother had 9, 12, 15 kids. Right. And we're trying to adopt a mindset and a lifestyle that closely mimics and aligns with that same narrative as far as having marriage be tradition. And it's not the same. The requirements is not the same. The environment is not the same. The costs is not the same. Even the security, right? Even back then, they had pensions. They don't have pensions now, right? For you to really be able to fund your 401k securely, even if you're married, let's really break this down, right? Let's say you make $100,000 a year as a family, right? And according to the math and the statistics, in order for you to really be able to have a nest egg to support yourself to where in your later years, you're not required to work as Walmart as a greeter in order to be able to carry you over, right? You need to be close to maxing out on your retirement, especially in your early 20 years, let alone your 30 years, because when you fund in the 20 years or in the earlier years, when you first start working, that's when your money really gets to working for you and compound. But let's just really substantiate that, right? If you make $100,000 a year, you in a 22% tax bracket. The average person that makes $100,000 a year only brings home 67. They only bring home $67,000 a year after taxes. On average, depending on what state and what city, is $67,000 to $70,000 a year. Then you have to fund your retirement. So let's assume that you as a person fund your retirement. You didn't even fund both of them. You only funded yours. So you put $20,000 a year into it. Now you at 47. Let's say your rent is $2,000 a month. That's $24,000 a year. It goes down really, really fast. We haven't factored in kids. We haven't factored in food. We haven't factored in cell phones, electricity, internet, anything. And so when we having these conversations, we're using the comparison of yesteryear in order to substantiate our arguments, when in reality, if you really want to have a family, and we're not talking about you don't have no layoffs throughout your career, you ain't got to pull out of your 401k and take the penalties and the hit in order to substantiate or carry you over like they did in 2008. We're not talking about none of that. We just talking about flat out, here's the numbers, here's what it is that you need to do in order to survive. And we didn't factor in putting gas in your car, insurance, car notes, none of that. And so when we have these conversations, we have to have them in reality to understand that if you really want to, and most of us don't think about what our lives are supposed to look like after 67, 69 and a half. If you really want to have these conversations about what it means in order to be successful and successfully married, successfully retired, being able to put kids through school, we know that women are the most enrolled and have the most debt, which they now beg and Biden in order for student loan forgiveness. It's insane. Most people can't afford to even pay their student loans, and they're crying. We got $1.7 trillion in student loan debt that they begging the government to forgive, and y'all telling me that you can do it successfully?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I have a question.
You didn't answer
one at a time, y'all.
Just broke the numbers down line by line by line.
Hold on, Lodge.
No, I asked you, the original question was how much money is needed in a household, would you say?
Exactly.
Well, it depends on how many kids
number
that you want to have.
Okay, so let's say 2 kids. I was just curious.
2 kids, you got to make at least 150.
No.
150.
You got to make at least 150. I've done the math 20 times. You got to make at least 150.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question to Coach K? Because you say you're married, right?
I'm engaged.
Okay, and he is white. Is he white?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to ask because
Right.
we're talking about the average. We're talking about the average salary for Black men, and we're saying like $40,000. So how is that what we're talking about now? Is that the same concept for white men as well? Do they think that way as well?
Wow.
I just want to ask.
So if I could answer, I don't think it's helpful to look at like a number like that and say, okay, I'm white. So for example, if I'm a white male, I can only make this much.
I'm talking about the statistics.
Yeah, so
on average, we're being told that Black men make about $40,000 a year. This is why I'm bringing up race. This is not a thing of me trying to.
So what are we
up against? I'm asking.
No, I hear you.
Average salary for a white man.
I don't think that matters.
You don't think the average salary for a white man doesn't matter?
No, because what does that mean for if I'm a white man? What does that mean for me? Does that mean I can only make this much? Well, that's a really defeatist mentality to have. Same thing for Black men or Indian men or whoever. Even if this is the average, what does that mean for me?
That's why I'm addressing it. There's obviously a pay gap.
Gotcha.
Huh?
Wait, between who?
Between
men and women or races?
With races.
Okay, but what do we do with that information?
Obviously, it's impacting the community, our community. If that is
I would say the same for anyone. Even though there's this statistic, what are you going to do with that information? I would never want someone to think that that's the only thing that they can make, because that's really disempowering.
That's not.
But I hear you on the stats. I know what they are.
That's not what I'm saying. But you're not gassing what I'm saying. But that's okay.
All right. Well, can I want to address the question.
I'm just trying to get perspectives. Obviously, our community and cultures are different. But if you guys want to play that,
it's not, man. It's not.
Then okay, cool.
It's not. I want to address something Anton said, and I don't gonna hold on this too long because I want to push back. But when you're basing stuff on actual determined cost of living, right? It's one thing that increased by 75% over the last 10 years. And then you can tell you what that is?
Sure.
Actually, basic clothing, basic things that we say that we really don't need. Where when I was coming up, it was such thing called hand-me-down. We hand-me-down things. If you have a bigger family, you got hand-me-downs. So now that increased the cost. If you look at food, when you look at these families, you know what I'm saying? I know we got women with kids and stuff in here. Just imagine how much food do you throw away. So when you adding that up, that's something. Food prices are going up, yes. Housing prices are going up, yes. But what we spend on clothing for these kids, toys, Christmas, Easter, all this crazy stuff that our parents probably pull back a little bit, where we going out, we buying our kids Louis Vuitton shoes, Gucci, we buying our I go to the mall and I see kids with Birkin bags, not Birkin bags, what you call that? The duck bag, whatever that was. I don't know. All these expensive bags. See, we put ourselves in these situations because we actually want to give our kids everything. It's just stupid. And look, I'm a victim of it. You too, Anton. Your daughter got the Yeezy. Your daughter got the Yeezys flip-flops.
No, they $70.
Oh, well, I'm just saying. I guarantee she got more stuff than that.
He got them for $70.
We spend too much on dumb shit. My kids got Gucci fucking flip-flops too. And I'm with it. Now,
the way that we raise our kids is not the same, man.
Who? Say that again?
The way that we raise our kid is not the same.
What you mean?
We raise our kids differently.
Please explain.
I did a show yesterday where my daughter literally broke down how it is that she make money. When she was in the 4th grade, I made her take her birthday money because she wanted some stuff. We went to Sam's Club, and then she bought all of the stuff that she wanted, all of the candy. She took it to church and she resold it, and she made 4 times her money. My daughter literally makes her own money. She runs my sneaker company, which is one of the reasons why she wears dope sneakers, because it helps her to be able to market to the people that she sells to, including the people that she go to school to.
Okay,
because she's in high school, she makes her own money, and she puts up 20% of everything that she makes,
but
10% of everything that she makes. And she has a net worth of over $50,000 today.
Okay, so let me pull you out this equation. Most parents ain't doing that, Anton.
I know. That's why I said the way that we raise our kids is different.
I'm gonna pull you out this equation because I know you'll come with something crazy. So look, let's stick to the average parent. The average parents is actually buying their kids this stuff. If you look at the stuff that we have, that we didn't have. I didn't have no cell phone when I was coming up. Do you know how much a cell phone bill is with the new cell phones? They got all kind of stuff that we didn't have. That's adding to the expenses. It's to a point that it's more wants than needs.
Can I? So I don't know the math behind it. This is just something like anecdotally, like I've just noticed. Like growing up, I always noticed that people that like had less money seemed to have a more luxurious lifestyle than my family, even though we were like one of the top like earners. Like they would always fly more. They would always have newer clothes, newer stuff. So I don't know the numbers behind it, but it doesn't seem like most people have kids. So I'd imagine the average household income is a lot less than 150,000. So are you just saying everyone's going to be homeless?
No, they're not. But see, I'm going to get back to the question. I had to address Anton. But this is to the question is that can a man make a woman happy without money? And I said, this is the first problem. Women base a lot of relationships off of potential, and they get their heart broken based on potential. They saying, I'm dating this guy. He got the potential to do this. He got the potential to do that. Then they get their heart broken. And that's a short-term solution. You can only live on hope for potential for so long. A long-term solution would be somebody who have resources. Everything that these men complain about, and this when I take women's side, these men complain about, oh, she's not fit. She's not this. She's not feminine. Well, how feminine do you want a woman to be when she's working a 9-to-5 job? She's taking care of kids. She's doing everything. You want her to wake up at night, suck and fuck you, do whatever the case may be. And then now, when you sending her into that workforce every day, and then she have to compete. How feminine do you think of a woman that would be when you know her job requires her to be a go-getter? So now that feminine stuff is not a light switch. You just can't say, hey, I'm finna be a boss at work. I'm finna cut on my boss like switch. And I'm home. Hi, honey. I'm gonna cut it off. No, you can't. And then with the whole fit equation, because I had an argument with one of my homeboys. Me and him is retired. We sit at his house and drink all the time. His wife go to work, take care of the kids, go to football practice, cook, do everything. And he said, well, you getting fat. Well, I said, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you make her stop working and afford her the time to do that? Because I'm looking at her from the outside looking in. I'm looking at her work schedule. I'm looking at everything she do. Me and you sitting on the couch drinking, looking at football all day. And then she's moving and shaking. And then you're going to ask her to go to the gym. How about if you had the amount of resources that she needed, you can afford her the time. Resources buys you time. That's it.
I disagree. I honestly think you're either feminine or you're not. I don't really agree with this narrative that working is going to make you masculine. I think it's just an excuse for women to like be rude to their husbands.
Okay.
Like, I think you're either feminine or you're not.
I'm asking you a question, Miss Pearlie. Man, you got smoke now.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Have you
I don't buy
ever
that.
known a female that was in the military?
Yes.
All right. In the military,
My best friend's in the military, actually.
So this is a good example then,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
She have to be strong or she'll get ran over. She gotta be fast or she get ran by.
Mm-hmm.
certain occupations like the military and all these other boss type jobs, it takes a certain type of person. So now by living in that environment and doing that, ideally, that's why the most feminine women in the world, if you go back in time and you look, my best time was the medieval time. Women was women. Guess what they wasn't doing? They were not there busting their ass working like that.
They were just for their man.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
well,
I mean, I disagree because like my friend, she's pretty feminine and she doesn't act like a dude just because she's in the military. Again, I just think it's an excuse that women tell to men to like convince you this, but it's just nonsense to me. The other thing is like I don't know why girls are complaining about doing like housework nowadays. Like you have to do your own dishes. What's one more?
Yeah,
and everything's automated nowadays. You got a Roomba, you got a vacuum, you got you got an air fryer. Like you're gonna tell me, oh, it's too much. It's like, I mean, you have to cook for yourself, don't you? Like you might as well.
When we talk about the military, and
wait, one more point. And what percent of women really have?
Hold on, Lodge.
One more thing. And what percent of women really have masculine jobs? I mean, like, come on. Like, what percent of women are really in the military? What percent of women are really like career go-getters? Like, they're teachers, nurses. Like,
the percentage of people, period, in the military is 0.7%.
Well,
and the percentage of that of females is 16%.
Wait, hold on,
Bruiser. Hold on, because Elijah was next.
Bruiser. I mean, I'm sorry. We're not talking about masculine jobs. We're talking about jobs you're in charge. That hits different. Look, watch this. In the military, female commanders suck. You know why? They always been overboard. They have to go and try to be what a man commander would be, what a man leader would be. And if they can do that naturally. So for your friend, you said that's in the military, that you said that's super feminine.
I wouldn't give her a 10. I'd give her 1 to 10. I'd give her like a 6.
You know
She's always been like that. Like her level of femininity has always been the same.
Okay, watch this. Look. Do she got a boyfriend or a husband?
She's a boyfriend.
Ask him. I bet he'll give her a 2.
All right, y'all. We got to get to the panel so we can move on to the next topic. Go ahead, Carmen. Answer this question: can a man make a woman happy without no money?
I mean, short and literal answer: no. More so, just because being able to rely on like the boundary that man generally provides between us and nature, you know, is now evolved to be so monetarily dependent. Like once upon a time, you know, he could build the house and we could have a garden and things like that. So you wouldn't need, you know, money. But now I think it's in a literal sense required. But I would say personally, for me as a woman, a man does make me, right? Like does that mean I just sit around totally unable to function without a man, or am incapable of developing skill and different things without a man? No, but I do personally believe as a woman that I can't ever really reach the apex of my form without orienting myself to a man, right? Like, and I think the happiness aspect has a lot to do with, again, what makes the woman happy. So I think a lot of us women now do associate, and we're paying all this attention to the numbers. And I wouldn't say to a woman not to pay attention to the numbers, but I don't when it comes to a man. Like what I'm trying to do as I'm trying to figure out things better now is pay more attention to the character of a man, right? So when the notion is that women should not look at a man based on potential, I somewhat disagree with that with regard to his like productiveness in the world, as far as like what he has in assets or income and things like that right then. But where I think, and like me personally, where I fucked up is going off character potential, right? So his character is lacking in this way and that way, but I think he'll overcome that. Right? So what I learned is that is a total recipe for failure, right? So now I personally pay more attention to the character of a man, and is he disciplined enough to manage his own situation, right? Because then that's more reflective to me of his ability to manage a family in the long term. But if I'm obsessing, because we are obsessive, right? If I'm obsessing over the numbers and all these different like statistics and things, I'm really not a person that puts a lot of weight on statistics, honestly. Like I think they're worth considering, but when I tend to evaluate men or just dynamics in relationships, all these different things, like I think that people that put too much weight on statistics, for me, it loses credibility, because it's, you know, it's a mixture of a bunch of different possible caveats and factors and all kinds of different things. I mean, I think some are more cut and dry than others. But anyway, I think a woman can't be happy without any sort of money. However, I'll add last caveat there. I think that it really does depend too on the situation, because, for example, I always try to consider for myself, like, okay, so what if I'm with a man, he has this and that, and something happens to him where he is in some way, shape, or form incapacitated from producing to the same level, right? Am I just going to change my deference to him as the leader? No, but then what it might require is he guide me to be a higher level producer, right? So I try to refrain as a woman from associating what is going to fulfill me to a lot of arbitrary metrics, and focus more on the character, like the habitual patterns and character of a man, to evaluate whether or not like that's a recipe for happiness.
Gotcha. All right. Is there anybody that hasn't spoken on the topic yet? Everybody spoke? Okay. If you guys are just tuning in, welcome to Lapeef Let's Talk. Make sure we get the likes up. Also, make sure we subscribe to the channel. Moving on to our next topic. I'll play a clip for you guys.
Really up everything. It made more avenues for money now.
Right. For sure.
But it fucked up everything. Marriages. Everything. At first, you used to just see the work, you, and that's it, and come home. That's all she had to look at. Now she got about 30,000 to look at. You heard me? For when you don't act right. And she hypnotized by all the other bitches getting shit on the ground that she ain't getting. So all that time you didn't put in but no money, it's everything. It's you too. All you had to look at was your side, bitch. Your work, your home, and come back. That's all we had. That's all. We a couple sides from the other side of town. Now you hypnotized. Yeah. You look at your see 1,000 better.
All right. Is social media the cause of this generation's failed relationships?
You got to let me go first, JR, because I said this 8 months ago on this very same platform.
All right, we're going to go to you. We're going to go to B. Taylor, then Curse for Life.
I said this before. Pull up the footage. LaBoosie, give me my shout out. The ability to tap in and see other people's lives outside of your general location. I said all the time, who do women deserve? Look outside of your door and look to the left and to the right. That's who in your tribe. That's who you deserve. Nowadays, our expenses are going up because guess what? They look at little baby. He just gave his girlfriend a Birkin bag. So now that's the expectation for every woman. They want a Birkin bag. They just saw Moneybag Yo give his girl a Maybach. They saw P. Diddy give the little city girls a new Benz. So now every woman think they deserve it because now social media has opened up the lives of everybody. So that's why all these women think they deserve a high value man. And they can't even spell high value man. They can't even tell you the jobs that will qualify you to be a high value man. They can't even tell you what a high value man is. But because of social media, they think they deserve everything. We was talking about it one time. I ain't gonna call nobody out, but we had one female on the panel that's saying that she was hitting up Michael B. Jordan in his inbox. She hit up Michael B. Jordan in the inbox, Siobhan. Now, you take that back 15 years, you have no access to these people. You can only see on TV. You can only dream. You had to wait to Lifestyle of the Richest Famous. You had to wait to MTV Cribs to see how these people live. Now, you can look at a flick of a wrist and you can see everything that these people do. So now by you saying everything these people do, it's now the new expectation. They run around and they saying, I don't want no scrub. Well, why you don't want no scrub? When scrubs all stay about you, you a scrub. If he a scrub, you a scrub. Y'all stay next door to each other. Huh? But guess what? It's a new expectation. They want what they see. And even though it's not achievable, that's why the NBA players, all these individuals get to bust down all these chicks because they have dreams of achieving what they see on social media and the internet. That's it.
But I think, you're muted.
No, it's B. Taylor next, then Curse for Life.
I don't disagree with anything Logic said. I've been saying it as well. Even I've been tricked by social media because you take the average girl from a small town and now she's living her life in LA. I mean, we're in the land of opportunity even more because of social media. I mean, look at us now. Everyone on this panel, we came from what type of background? What type of job opportunities? All because of social media. So, I mean, social media has changed us in a good way where people are able to start their own businesses and stuff like that. But as far as like relationships, people think, you know, maybe I can snag the man that makes millions of dollars like, oh, homegirl did. She was a nobody from the projects. And now because she got a big ass and she looks good, she didn't snag her a man, and now she's all over the blogs and living a good life in a mansion. Maybe that can be me too. So we have a misconstrued conception about our reality because of social media.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to agree with Logic and B. Taylor as well. It's just what we see on social media, and you see something, you see a lifestyle that maybe you didn't even care about. You see a bag, you see the type of guy, things that you would never think about if social media didn't exist. Now you see it, now you want it. So that's television. You're telling a vision, and everybody wants to hop on that type of train, but they don't realize like you can only get what's not that you can only get, but you know, you qualify for what level you're already on. Some people see things and they want to shoot for the stars, but that's my take on it.
All right, I'm not going to go to everybody. Is anybody that disagrees? Anybody
I
have a
would
different
agree.
take?
100%. I don't listen. Just because y'all looking at and y'all following certain y'all know what y'all qualify for. Come on. It ain't no level of social media, no matter who you following, that's gonna change the dynamics of who you know you qualify for.
I think you really give too much credit to people understanding the different, or like being able to see the clarity between perception and reality.
Right. I mean,
I agree with you, Anton.
I think y'all know what y'all qualify for.
I agree with you. I think we just like, you know, I think girls like they know what a guy's on, but they just pretend they don't and then cry later.
They know even if they. It's funny because that same Moneybag Yo video that Logic is referring to, it wasn't even. He didn't really even buy it for it. It was all cap for the. It was all cap for the gram. It wasn't even really a purchase for it. It was staged and set up, and as soon as they broke up, it got repoed. Like
it did.
Come on, man. Like y'all not that crazy. Women are not that delusional to where you don't know when you go outside what you qualify for.
Yeah. Personally, I think social media was just the nail in the coffin. I think that the reason relationships are bad is because women are bailed out of every bad decision they make, and we're also paid to leave marriages. And we're paid to also have children out of wedlock. So I think that's the reason.
That's all with you, but that's a whole nother description. The thing is I understand what you and Anton is saying. I think they truly know. That's what I said. They truly know what they qualify for. Like, look outside their door. That's what they qualify for. I mean, come on now. Everybody in your hood driving a Sonata or a Ford Fusion, right? But when they present it to hold these cold concepts, it's a mentality. They saying, this is what I want out of a man. That's why you have all them delusional women. Kevin Samuels made a killing off of delusional women that they really, in their mind, said that they wanted a high.
You froze, Palage.
He got that church internet.
Oh my God.
All that talk, he be talking about people internet. Only for him to be. Somebody screenshot this.
Look, watch this.
He froze.
Hey, first off, look, watch this. That's not my internet. That's a software I'm running. So I'm doing something totally different. That's why I can pop up word selling on you in a minute. I was finna pop it up, but my program messing up. So no, the thing is, it still stick to the point where what I described, I described what Miss Pearl and Anton said.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
no,
still,
I think deep down those women actually did know. I just think like women have this weird thing where it's like we know reality deep down, but we won't like say it. I don't know why. I experience it all the time on my show where I'm like talking to a girl and I'm like, I know you're not dumb. I know you understand what I'm saying, but we just are gonna pretend.
I think that they know they listen.
They mask insecurity.
Let me tell you what Kev won on as far as what he made a killing on. Kev didn't make a killing on women's unrealistic expectations. Kev made a killing on women overlooking all of the men that were shooting their shot at them in their prime, and then once they hit the wall, they thought that they could do what they wanted to do at the height of their greatness, because the sexual marketplace value is real, right? Mm-hmm. Things that women look for in men is versus the things that men look for in women is completely different. And so what happened was they had a lot of opportunities, and I say this all the time. The guy that that most of these women should have married, they already overlooked him. He was already in your life at some point in your life. The guy that you were supposed to marry, for the overwhelming majority of women, you already overlooked them. So it wasn't that you didn't have options. It was that you wanted to do what you wanted to do because you've been empowered to do whatever you want to do with this safety net that you thought was provided for you. Mm-hmm. When in reality, now you have something and you hitting the wall. And that's what Kev made his killing off of, is women that got past a certain point in their life. They hold it out. Mm-hmm. They did what they wanted to do. And now they waited till it was too late to actually align with the guy that they were supposed to be with. They overlooked the good guy. They got slutted out by all of the bad guys. And then now they came back and they said, but wait a minute, I want to be married. And then he said, well, what are you looking for? He said, well, I'm going to shoot for the stars. I'm going to go for the six-figure guy, right? I'm going to go for all of these great qualities in a guy. If you pay attention to how women move, regardless of whether they're on social media or not, once they get past a certain point and they continue to creep past that, their standards slowly become lower and lower as they ascend higher and higher in the age. So at first they say, I want this guy and he got to be 6 feet and blah, 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 right? Once they get past all he got to do is have a pulse and want to marry her. Listen, I want a guy that's nice. Hopefully he doesn't cheat. You know, the standards just become so fucking low at some point. You know what I'm saying? But the point is that I don't think that women are delusional. I know for a fact these chicks know exactly what it is that they qualify.
But wait, you said a second ago that women know what they qualify for. So if they know what they qualify for, then that means they should know that they should have married the guy when they were in their younger 20s.
Do know that.
But
go ahead.
No,
go
but they wait around to see if something better comes along. So
no, they don't.
They think so. That's
they're not waiting for something better. They out there living the life that they want to live, and they slutting it out, and they doing what they want to do.
Yeah, but
no. What y'all don't understand is that they're not looking to get married early in life, even when they have the best available option at their doorstep at that time.
No,
but Anta, your example is you keep proving my point. The thing is these women did not know what a Birkin bag was. How did
logic? That's not it.
Listen what I'm saying, because it's still based on a question. It's social media is the cause of this generation fair relationship. Is that you're right. They have unrealistic expectations, right? But where are they getting these unrealistic expectations from?
Logic. There are plenty of women that make enough money, and I know them personally, and they buy their own fucking Birkin bags, and they can't find a man that want to marry them.
But Anton, this is you still not it. The question is: social media the cause of this generation failed relationships?
That no, social media is not the cause.
But not. But and I'm taking to your
about a lot of different things. I would say feminism. I would say, you know, I don't think it's
Logic. Say it again. Say it again, Logic.
Listen, what I'm saying.
Feminism, right?
Where is they getting?
I'm saying feminism.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. You said feminism, right? These unrealistic expectations that you say that exist, where's they getting it from? Look, my first time seeing a Rolex was Quest's dad gave him a Rolex. Rolexes wasn't out here rolling. We wasn't thinking about Rolexes. Quest's dad had a Rolex, and we was like, okay, that's just a Rolex. Right now, Rolex is a thing. Where did these come from? It comes from social media. They create these expectations for these men. Now, we just had a guy on the panel with 2 Rolexes. He was like this. It's a social media effect, because right now you can get a snapshot of a whole different tribe, a whole different tribe of people that you never had a snapshot of. And now it become our expectation to achieve that. Nobody knew what Christian Louis Vuitton was if it wasn't for social media.
Logic, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Let me see if let me add my perspective.
Half of the black
nothing to do with what we're talking about.
I'm gonna cap it off right here. I lived in Atlanta all my life. Half of the black people in Atlanta never knew what Fit Plaza was. Now, the new Atlanta, everybody go to Fit Plaza to get this Christian Louis Vuitton, go to the Gucci store. Everybody, we was wearing white tees then. We was wearing white tees like the franchise boys.
What does that have to do with relationships? Logic? What does that have to do with relationships?
It's an influence, but you got it.
Let me see if I can add. Let me see if I can add to the conversation. So I'm with whoever said feminism. I think, and if I have to break it down, I would break it down as, you know, voting ignorance, reproductive freedom, you know, women pushing to be equal to men. And when I say voting ignorance, how that hurt the relationships, I mean, you know, they managed to influence the decision on gay marriage, gender reassignment, and much more. You know, gay marriage was key because it's not enough men for all of women to have a husband. So with the empowerment of women, they do not have to rely on a man for companionship. You know, the voting power is also targeting a way to do away with gender as a whole, to completely eliminate any difference between men and women, period. And when it comes to reproductive freedom, we've already talked about technology that, you know, allows women to cancel life, suppress the process of birth with, you know, contraceptions. So men are not compelled to marry women who have this technology that allows them to be even more sexual promiscuous. You know, women were having children and families, you know, back in the days of what, 18, 19, 20. Now they are pushing it all the way to 30, 40 before they even thinking about marriage. And then there's this equal pay. This you want to be equal with men and all this other shit. You know, women are aggressively trying to adjust the way salaries are awarded toward, you know, types of occupations. You know, meaning because women mostly show interest in occupations that involve like communication and fashion and all that shit. And they want you to try to align that to the same thing what a man earned in salary as far as like engineering or STEM majors. Just because of your interests. We have different interests. So this movement has created a modern women while simultaneously creating a unique women, which feminists accuse to be a woman who, you know, falls under the patriarchy, so to speak. So that's what
women didn't know what feminist was.
Social media didn't cause that. This relationship been failing long before social media.
Yeah, if you look at the divorce rate, it's actually really simultaneous with the rate of women on birth control. I think birth control was the actual reason that marriages fell apart. In my opinion, contraception. So it kind of goes with feminism, but it's kind of like the beginning of bailing women out of bad decisions, because, you know, first it was birth control, and then it was government benefits for single mothers, and then there was government. Then you have no fault divorce, and women are paid to leave marriages then. So you're essentially entering in a contract where women are rewarded for leaving. So if you pay someone to do something, they're going to do more of it, men or women. I'm sure if men were paid to leave marriages, they would do it more. But women are. So
I got a question for y'all then, since y'all don't understand this, right? If y'all don't understand the impact of media, y'all remember the whole insurgence of the little gangs in Little Rock? You remember when Little Rock had like the gangs were shooting through the roof, and it was Crips and Bloods in Little Rock. Where, when they interviewed them kids, where did they actually pull that from? They pulled it from the movies. They pulled it from look. You got people in the country, in where Bruiser from, Mobile, Alabama. Half of them just got a Boost Mobile phone. That's gang members. That's representing rolling 60s. Never been to California a day in their life. That's the impact of social media. Social media, you can spread influence at a drop of a dime. Right now, with everything women make, women wear, it spreads social media. Social media is the cause of a lot of this stuff. Like I said, the feminist move. Can you imagine Black Lives Matter without social media? How impactful? And look, can you imagine this? All this stuff we've seen over the past couple of years, whether it's George Floyd, whether it's Breonna Taylor, whether all these big incidents, remove social media and tell me how impactful that movement is going to be.
I mean, I think at minimum, it's a catalyst. Like, even I agree with birth control and all of that, because it totally changes our frame of mind as women looking at sex and relationships and things to mitigate the natural consequence of sex. But it's a major catalyst. I mean, I don't think there's any denying that.
Yeah, again, I think social media was just the nail in the coffin. But if you look at the divorce rates, they start, and like the lack of people getting married, it starts going down in the 70s. So it's like right after birth control and a lot of government benefits and no fault divorce.
So where do men take accountability as leaders in this community? Because all I hear is what's women's fault, but where are the men?
Well, we don't have to. The government ain't gonna hold us accountable regardless if we want to or not.
You know what? And I only hear that from Black men. So why are y'all always talking about the government holding y'all back when other people have?
Because it's called policy.
Come from different countries, and they're able to succeed and build families and legacy and land and everything else. But all we hear is excuses. Y'all don't want to hear excuses from women. So why do y'all keep giving them?
Hold on. What excuse did we make?
You just said the government.
I said we're held accountable. We are accountable for our actions, and we're going to be held regardless if we want to or not.
Because it's causing a lot of problems in the community.
Let me give you an example of accountability real quick.
Gonna let me finish talking, or okay, go ahead.
I'll just give you a quick example of accountability. You know, in America, you can live with it. You can live with a woman for 3 to 4 years. If she get pregnant, and you don't even have to be the father. They're gonna put you on a birth certificate, and the child don't even have to be yours. You don't even have to have sex with her.
So we're going with the extremes.
Oh, that's not extreme.
It's not an extreme. There's multiple. There's actually no. It's not an extreme. Because there's multiple laws that are like that are similar. Like, for example, in some states, if you live with a guy for 30 days, he can't legally kick you out.
That's
and
vice
so it's
versa.
like, what?
It's vice versa.
What?
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's one way.
It's one way.
Like the laws tend to favor women. So like, for example, like alimony cases, what % do women win? They'll always use the example
and how many men actually have the money for women to get anything from alimony? Let's talk about that.
Oh man, you deflecting.
I'm not deflecting. That's
answering all of your questions about accountability.
Whenever one at a time. Hold on, Bruiser. Hold on.
Having money and y'all be getting mad and scared because Dr. Dre, somebody who actually has money, is in a situation where his wife took not even 10% of his income, but y'all over here complaining, and most of y'all are making less than 6 figures a year, but y'all think y'all she's gonna take off what money?
I mean, here's the thing. It might not be money that they have now, but it's like if they spend the last 20, 30 years building with a girl, she can leave and take half. That's a lot of power to give a woman.
You just said a keyword there. Build with. So if that woman stuck it out for that long and build with that man where he was able to go build that business because she was taking care of the house. She was taking care of the kids. She was taking care of a lot of responsibilities for that man to thrive as a man to who he is today. Why is she not going to benefit? Because he wouldn't be who he is today without the help of his woman. You just said build
you could, because I don't think you're entitled to a man's earnings. It's just my opinion. Like, I think go get a job, hun. Because I mean, Jeff Bezos, you're telling me like when she left, let's use Jeff Bezos as an example. When she left, he made more money. She didn't. So like clearly, money wise, why is she entitled to his money?
Because she keeps giving it away. But let me ask you something, because don't you
would Jeff Bezos have built Amazon without her? Probably. Would Jeff Bezos have built Amazon without her?
Probably. Don't you come from a big family?
Yes.
Okay, how many brothers and sisters you have? You said 7.
You like to get personal.
No, I'm not getting personal. I didn't even ask the question yet. I'm asking because you put it out there, right? You put it out there on the internet, so that's why I'm asking. I'm clarifying.
I have 9 siblings. It
okay,
just seems
so
to
did
get
your mother
personal.
work? Did your mother work?
Yes.
She worked and took care of all 9 siblings. So who watched you guys while your mother worked?
Who watched us? Well, there was 10 of us, so it depends. Sometimes she did, and sometimes we had nannies.
Or the oldest brother or oldest sister.
Yeah, that too.
Okay, so you had people like that. Your father had money to afford somebody to watch the kids, right?
At times, yes.
Okay, so in the average household, if mom is working and dad is working, who's watching the children? Because it's not nannies for everybody.
It's
right.
Well, she was working. If you're gonna ask me questions, I'm gonna give you context. She was working for my dad.
So he gave her a job.
Yes.
To work for, and so obviously he gave her a job where she's able to work and be a mother, right? Okay, and I think
for him,
I think that's lovely. So let me clarify something. I wasn't asking that to talk about your family life. I'm asking that because your father provided for the family and your mother so she can take care of the kids. That's what I'm talking about.
I understand, but I just don't think you're entitled to half of his shit.
But
I just don't.
If the husband,
I don't think you should be paid to. I don't think you should be paid to leave a marriage. No.
So if the husband did not provide his wife resources where she can take care of the kids, and she has to go out and work, or she's not working, she's taking care of the kids, right? Because he can't afford a nanny, so she's sacrificing all of her time.
Why is it looking as a sacrifice? She gets to stay home. That's a privilege.
And that's okay. So I'm not.
I have a question.
And she would still have wife skills. So like if you're gonna learn how to be, if you're gonna stay home and take care of kids, you still have wife skills. So you can still get married to someone else.
What I'm saying is, you're saying go out there and work, but there are women that I personally know who have a woman, for example, have 7 kids with her husband. He was the main provider, and she stayed at home. She didn't go to school. She didn't get her education. She did and fulfilled her duty as a wife and mother, right? That man decided to leave the home with another woman. That's his choice. Okay, cool. He's decided to do that. That left that woman with no resources, no income, no education, no work experience for the past 20 years. And you have the nerve to sit up here and tell some women in those situations, just get up and work. Who's going to be watching those 7 kids because dad's not doing what he needs to do? That's why the government stepped in and started holding men accountable, because the children were suffering.
But you're using an extreme example.
That's not an extreme. That's why it actually started.
When women again, you have to stop cutting me off. When
no,
women,
you're cutting me off because I wasn't even done talking.
Y'all one at a time. Y'all one at a time.
Women are the ones that leave. So women leave 70 to 80% of the time, 90% if they're college educated. So why don't we talk about the women before we talk about the men?
I love these talking points, and you guys use this tactic. I'm a whole speech and debate professional. So the fact that you're using this whole, can you not cut me off after you cut me off? You don't let me finish my sentence. And I actually let you talk when you kept cutting me off. And then the moment that I'm trying to finish my sentence, you piggyback and say, can you not cut me off? That's a tactic you're trying to use, and it's not working. But I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah, I'm just tacticking.
Yeah.
Yep.
You said you was a debate major?
That's not what I said, Logic.
Yo, don't do it. Don't do it.
You been getting your ass with all night.
I have not actually, but y'all been pandering, but that's fine.
Who are we pandering to? Who are we pandering to? Listen. Since she don't want to answer the question, because she asks a lot of questions, but she don't answer anything, right?
I do answer.
Who are we pandering to then?
I think y'all know if y'all don't know, then I don't know.
Okay,
I'm not
well,
gonna explain anything if y'all don't know what I'm talking
let
about.
me tell you something.
Hey, wait, Anton, she said I was pandering.
Come on, y'all. Let's get back on task. Let's go ahead and get final thoughts on this so we can move on.
See, because look, I had pushback for Pearl earlier too. We disagree.
Logic, you ain't got to
You
substantiate.
have a whole scoreboard on top of your head that I gotta look at for this entire time, and you're talking about you're not pandering.
All right, look, what scoreboard? It's gone. If that scoreboard go distract you from your ass whooping, it's gone. But now, if you see her, your points is getting defeated.
No, my points have not got defeated.
Yes,
actually.
it is.
Y'all disagree with what she's saying, but it doesn't mean that it's been defeated. I made my point and I stand on them.
No, I'm gonna start calling her. I'm not gonna call her Pearl. I'm gonna start
Logic.
Jim Duggan.
Logic.
She been suplexing you all over. Look,
Logic.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Logic.
Why I can't tell the truth?
Listen, Logic.
Okay, you know what? Now she want me to.
Come on. Hey, come on. We got to move on.
Hold on, listen.
Because why is my phone blowing up from different black women that I don't even know that's telling me that this is all a setup?
What? Wow. Black women. I told you.
Yo. Logic.
Come on, y'all. Come on.
How can you be set up if you're a grown adult? And
I have a question. I have a question for Pearl. Pearl, you said that your mom, you had 9 kids. And, so if your father were to just leave, you know what type of position that would leave your mother in? Now she's not working for your father, making fun. Yeah, and do you know what type of weight would be on her shoulder? Like, you're laughing, but you would live a completely different lifestyle at that point because your mom is now busting her ass in a way she's never had to. She doesn't have that support, and she still has to do everything she had to do before, but only by herself. You get
I think it's interesting because you don't know my family, and my mom's like one of the hardest workers that I've ever met. My mom would be fine; she would figure it out.
So she would be in the same position. She would be okay. It wouldn't hold no weight. Your family would be equivalent.
She wouldn't be in the same position, but
exactly.
My mom worked at my parents' company, so it's a little bit different if you're working. They went from zero, and so it's a little bit different. And she was the president. My dad was the CEO, so it was kind of like they're dual. But
the weird thing about it
no longer
is that
be dual if they
there's guys that lose everything and there's nothing to help them and support them that comes along with, because the one thing that y'all advocated for, and this is the reason why I highlighted feminism as the thing, is y'all advocated for equal. But the interesting thing that's not equal is that y'all fight against updating the family court laws that were literally designed at a time when women couldn't even vote and they didn't even have the ability to go and work at all. So why do y'all advocate against equal when it comes to equal results or the things that men go through? But then at the same time, y'all advocate for equal when it comes to the benefits of choosing for yourself to do what you want to do at the same time. Let's be clear. You sitting home and relaxing, because most of these women, when the kid become of age to be able to go to school full time, y'all fucking sitting at home and drinking all day. You're not cooking and cleaning it's not enough cooking and cleaning in the world for y'all to be able to justify being able to sit at home and doing what you want to do when you want to do it, acting like you busy, when in reality, you over there watching reality shows, you're having a good fucking time, you're drinking wine all day, and you're finding yourself in a position that's scrolling through Instagram and checking your DMs and leaving yourself open to the possibility of getting buzzed down by somebody that ain't got your best interest at heart. Let's be clear. You are very blessed. You are privileged to be able to sit at home and be able to take care of kids. So please miss me with that victim Olympics. Woe is me. He needs to take care of me for the rest of my life type of concept. No, you advocated for equal. This is what you wanted, and this is what it looks like. So eat that shit. Flat out, eat it. We don't want to hear none of that.
Or get him the kids.
And I just put myself in like the guy's point of view. Like I built this channel and I'm like, if I was married now and I built this whole channel, like, is he entitled to half? No. Is he entitled? Like, that doesn't make sense.
Get a prenup.
No, but I'm saying like that's why I don't think the woman's entitled to it, because I put myself in the guy's shoes. Like, why would he be entitled to that?
Right. And for B. Taylor, man, this my last little thing on accountability. Did you know that you can be married to a man, get a divorce, 11 months later, as long as a year or 12 months haven't passed, and you have a child, and nobody assumes to be the father to put their name on the birth certificate, they're gonna put your ex-husband on the birth certificate, and he got what, 30 days to deny it. We don't know where this guy is. If he's at the location where he's getting that mail, is he incarcerated? Is he overseas doing something? That 30 days pass, you fuck. That's some
Bruiser,
accountability.
we're not giving them no passes in 2022 and beyond, bro. They the most enrolled, they the most educated, they earn the least amount of money as a result of it. They got the most student loan debt. That when they're given the option to choose for themselves, whether it's in relationships or the career that they choose underwater basket weaving degree. They fuck up their own life. They choose to leave their own marriages, and they pick wrong. Please miss me with that victim Olympics bullshit. We don't want to hear it, bro.
All right, yeah, we got to move on.
At time, you part of the setup crew. I'm listening. Then you say.
You guys are just tuning in. Welcome to Lapeef. Let's talk. Let's move on to our last topic of the night. Our last topic is marriage an outdated concept. Is marriage an outdated concept? I want to start with Coach K, Pearl, Carmen, Siobhan.
Someone else go first. I've been going first.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, I mean, I go first, but someone else go first.
Okay. You sure you can go?
No, because I want to hear what other people say first.
Okay.
I think that the laws are outdated. I think, again, we have a system where women are paid to leave marriages, and that's very outdated. So honestly, if I was a guy, like, I would not really see the benefit in marriage, because you get older women that are less pure than ever before. So you walk down the aisle, and then on top of that, she gets a contract that she's paid to leave. So I think this whole thing, as a woman, like, I still want to get married. So it's kind of hard because, like, I do want to get married, and I do think it's better for families, but just the way that the laws are set up now, I really think that needs to change.
Oh, wow. I like Pearl.
Yeah. Because I guess a guy, like, what are you getting out of it? You used to get a virgin. Like, now you don't even get, you don't get it. You get them older than ever before, less pure than ever before, and she's paid to leave. Like, if I was a dude, I wouldn't want to get married, but I do think it's better for the kids. So, you know.
All right.
That's my whole point, man. I tell brothers all the time on my show, if you ain't trying to have a family, if you're not trying to have kids, don't even get married. Period.
Hey, I never thought I'd ever say this on the Lapeef Network, but I agree with a woman. Look, it's the laws. I say it all the time. Policies is like stop signs and red lights. It controls the flow. And if we looking at marriage decrease, it's because a lot of guys just start saying that, you know what? I'm not finna be put into the system. If the government had an interest into seeing that these relationships and marriages succeed, then what they would do is they would get out of the relationship. If you have these policies going in where men lose soon as they jump the broom or they walk down the aisle, ideally they're going to fear it. And then now when you see all these stories where men getting just shafted, men scared to have families now, because ideally, regardless, the laws and the policies is going to side with the women. I know guys personally that makes, I'm about to call out a name. Good God. I know guys personally that make well into over 6 figures. And the mom is barely making anything, and then they afford them the kids, and then now they give this crazy amount of money that these kids don't even need. I see if you say, you know what, hey, we're gonna give you this basic stipend or whatever from the father, and everything else go into a savings account for the kid. Men are scared of the laws. Men are not scared of women. So for all these women say, hey, they complain about no. The women are just the ones that we shoot at because they're actually implementing these laws. They're actually benefiting from these laws. So when men show anger and fear, they show anger and fear for the policies. These policies is destroying the relationships. And then a lot of times women don't see it until they well in their 50s. And if you ever talk to a 50-year-old woman and look at the insight she can give you about failed policy, she will shake you up because it destroyed her. And we constantly see it. We ignore it because guess what? It don't impact us. And once it come knocking at our door, hey, B. Taylor, knock, 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 knock. Then you want to pay attention to it. But at that time, it's too late. And then women are scared to speak up against the laws. Women are scared to actually even possess a political opinion nowadays that's against the society norm.
I wouldn't say scared. I would just say, like, in general, why would women want to?
And that's one of my, you know what? There's a guy by the name of Jay Prince, right? And I told him, if you had laws that benefit you, and shout out to Jay Prince, if you had laws that benefit you, that went against women, would you buck that? Would you say, hey, I want you to stop doing this to women and give me these rights? No, you went. Women are just doing what they're afforded. And even though it's detrimental to the community, but they're doing what they're afforded. The laws are meant to let the women win. So how I look at it is that if women have an interest in seeing our family successful in a rebuilding of tribes and then possibly establishing communities, then they need to get rid of the laws. I would never date a chick that actually dealing with any type of incentive program, any type of hands in a pot with the government, because that's just a snapshot of what she'll do to me.
So basically you're saying most women are, or overwhelmingly most women are liberals, right?
Nah, I think they opportunities. They doing what the government afford them.
Yes. If you look at voting maps, if you took out women, it would be overwhelmingly conservative. Women decide elections. Yeah. And we're 55% of the population. We have higher voter registration. Yeah.
So my question,
that's why you could argue, return our,
So Pearl, so if you had sons, let's say you had sons now, and they're 18, 19, 20, whatever.
I hope so. I want like 5.
And they're going out in the world and they're dating, and one of them falls in love. What do you tell? What kind of advice would you give your son in today's society going into the dating realm and to possibly get married?
Now, I hate to say it because like I wouldn't want to be a girl, as a girl, I still want to get married. You know what I mean? But if I had a son, like honestly, I'd just say live with her, don't get married. And I think there's like one legal way around it. I would say like get married in the church or whatever religious ceremony, but legally, yeah, it doesn't. It's a contract she's paid to leave.
I feel like
I'd say to avoid some hoes too. I'd say like don't go there. I know they look good, son, but just chill out. Sorry, go ahead, coach.
Oh, wait. I just want to say one thing. This is the first time that women has read off another woman off Lapeef Network. B. Taylor is out of here. Where'd she go?
Huh?
No, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know she said she got to get off at 11:30, Logic.
Oh, okay. I'll take that back then.
Man, don't do it, Logic. Don't do it.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop being honest.
So what I was going to say was, if your son, I just, yes, we understand how the state of things are today, the laws. I'm right there with you guys. I would say marriage is fine as long as you pick a woman that's not a modern woman, basically, in that definition. You know what I mean? Because like with marriage requires skin in the game. It requires commitment. You can't just like up and leave. Now, the laws, granted, I get it. But if you pick the right person, your right person for you, then what's to worry about? I mean, I'm not worried at all. Of course, I'm a female, but I'm not worried at all for a second. I don't think there's anything that we can't work through. And I think marriage is a beautiful thing. And I think more people need to be willing to commit, and because commitment takes sacrifice, but also takes being uncomfortable. And that's, it's better than just willy-nilly all out here, but I don't know.
Okay, I'll make an exception. If he can find a traditional virgin, he can marry her. A traditional woman, that's a virgin, 21, 22.
What are the chances of finding that today?
I know.
Like 2%.
Your chances of a happy marriage if you've slept with 5 or more partners drops from 80% to 25%. What percent of women are really 5 or less? So, yeah,
I think if she gets some healing and
what?
I think if she, I mean, obviously if she is like 10 plus, like that's a lot. But I think, obviously I think guys would all prefer virgins, but I think we know the difference between a girl who's had sex and a total hoe. You know what I mean? But preferences are good, but let's also be realistic.
Hey,
I'm
not. I don't want no virgin. Men, y'all gotta stop. Men don't want no virgin. We want.
Yes, we do.
We want somebody. Look, we just don't want to know. Like that's all. Look, recipes, but that's the only thing I disagree. One of the things I disagree is that the whole body count thing. No, I just don't want to know. If I don't know, it's gonna hurt me. But do I want a virgin? No, I want a gymnast. I want Gabby Douglas. I want her to go from the living room to the bedroom on hit that triple beam.
She got a man and he ain't even married her yet.
Who?
Gabby Douglas. No, no, that's Simone Biles. Simone Biles.
No, I'm just saying the gymnast. I want
she ain't even married yet.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing we okay. That's nice. That's nice, I guess. No, I just think like what do you need the piece of paper for? Like, what do you need a piece of paper from the government? You could still do the ceremony. You could still do everything. Like, why does she need a government contract that she's paid to leave? Like, that's what I don't get. And on top of that, like, I'm not saying like I think men should be realistic, but the point is like those are the odds. Like 25% chance of a happy marriage, probably lower. So
well, the government used to hold couples accountable so that they couldn't just up and leave. We don't have really community, so you can't really shame, your sister or whoever. Like, okay, no, you need to work this out. But I think again, it requires an extra step, and people don't want to be uncomfortable. People are lazy. So if I know I have to go spend money to go get a divorce attorney, whatever, and do all this, okay, I'm speaking to sane people here. I don't want to do it. I would rather work on my marriage. But that's not, most people.
Yeah, and I think from
unfortunately,
but I think when it's like not your assets on the line, it's easy to say. But when it's their
I agree with the laws being changed for sure.
Yeah, and
so I don't think we should have no fault divorce. I think that should be a policy initiative. Like working on that should be at the forefront. I'm sure a lot of men are working towards that. More women should be also if they want to be consistent. But yeah,
so
I feel like you have the assets. But again, in my marriage, I'm not worried about it because I know I'm not worried about it.
I got a question for y'all. Because I lived in South Korea for 3.5 years. Right, the child support backlog in South Korea is insane. But you know what they don't have? They don't have a culture of baby mamas because they know the government will not enforce their bad decisions. So guess what? They do not make the bad decisions. If you look at Middle Eastern countries where divorce is not an option, you know what it requires women to do? Sacrifice. That's one word that that's one word that American women don't understand, the concept of sacrifice. If you got kids with this man, and if you want to establish something, it requires sacrifice. In our Western civilization, we send sacrifice from one standpoint, and it's coming from the men. The women play no sacrifice in none of this. So that's what we get, the outcome we get, and the law support it. Not only does it support bad decision, but it supports them thinking about themselves, and then they not even being able to spell sacrifice. Loss. You remove forced child support. You remove incentive programs. What you will single-handedly do is you will, by default, increase marriages, increase relationships, and then you increase healthy households. These laws and policies are the downfall. So, but it's not gonna, I think somebody said the voting base is mostly women. It's not gonna take men. If women saying they tired of seeing these destructive communities, these destructive tribes, and these destructive relationships, why don't y'all lobby for it? Because if we do it, you know what we is? We're a bunch of whining men.
A bunch of Andrew Tates.
Y'all a bunch of concerned women. Hello? Is my mic working? Hello? Damn,
I think that marriage is beneficial in a lot of ways. I just think that it's a difference between being married and being successfully married. And I don't think that people have the blueprint of what that looks like. I'm an advocate for being successfully married, but my caveat is that I don't force anybody to do so. If that's the path that you want to take, I want to teach you and give you the insight on what it takes in order to be that way. Because it's one thing to just be in a relationship and in which y'all passing like ships in the night, and it's a sexless marriage. Y'all don't really understand the benefits that come along with being married. And it's another thing, to just absolve yourself from it altogether because you operate not at duress, right? And I think that people just don't understand. First of all, you got to look at it from a business perspective if you're a man. And then secondly, I think that the love aspect of it comes with it, but that's a benefit that comes along with women. The problem today is that the dynamics and the requirements of what marriage is completely different, because most people are not looking to be married. They're looking for a partner, right? They're looking for somebody that they can divide household expenses and then have experiences with. That's a different thing than being traditionally married and the way that people from yesteryear tried to frame it. The requirements was different, right? What you needed women for and what you needed men for was completely different, right? Even what you need in order to even be able to survive is completely different. So we just need to rethink it in the same way that we rethink every single thing that happens in society. We don't stay the same when it comes to the cars that we drive and the requirements to be able to manufacture them. We don't stay the same when it comes to technology we use in order to market ourselves effectively to these different companies. We don't send resumes anymore, right? We do things differently, but we don't want to change with the times because we continuously looking at yesteryear and saying, but what about how they did it and why they stand together? The dynamics has changed. People need to rethink what marriage means. And every single situation is different depending on your circumstances. If you're 50, right, it's going to be a completely different circumstance if you're a man than if you're a woman. If you're 20 and y'all both getting married at the same time, there's benefits that come along with it. If y'all trying to have kids, for example, right, there's rooms that I could not have gotten in that my wife have gotten me in that has allowed for me to do business with some of the husbands that I wind up still do business with today, 10 years later, right? There's a lot of caveats and benefits that come along with marriage, but you have to first define what it is that you're trying to be successful at, what life looks like to you, how many kids that you're trying to have, at what point do you want to get married? And it's so many different factors. And I think that there's benefits to marriage, but we first have to figure out who it is that's trying to get married, why you trying to do it, and at what point in your life do you see yourself doing so? And so I think that there is benefits. We just have to ask the right questions, and we have to stop. We have to divest ourselves from just the traditional way of how we see marriage and take into consideration every single circumstance.
And the temporary solution I would propose, and I often propose, is similar to what real Siobhan had stated. Sign and notarize prenuptial agreement. And prenuptial agreement don't always mean anything about money. You can put anything in there you want. So that's what I would do until things change. Because like everybody said, technology has surpassed the way that the essence of marriage. You know what I'm saying? It's not caught up. So that's my advice I would give to my sons out there.
Yeah, and I think that having a prenup too, like there's so many different things, that you can add in the prenup. And I think that so many people shy away from it, but it doesn't mean, oh, this is going to ruin your life or you're not going to get anything or whatever. But I mean, most people would essentially think you come in with what you come in with and you leave with what you leave with. But essentially you don't want to leave. But I mean, it's good to have something on paper to say, like, there's clarity for him and there's clarity for her. And to also answer the question too, I really do think that marriage is becoming a outdated concept. And because people aren't getting married to be married forever, they're getting married for the wedding. So I personally don't really want a wedding, I want the dress, but I don't want the wedding. And I've dreamed about a wedding forever. I remember just like kind of doodling it out and like what I want, but I don't want that anymore. I think it's too much money. I would feel bad because I know what I like and I know I would spend everything. So
we also got to take into consideration that marriage is more beneficial to women than it is for men. Let's be clear about that. Y'all need us. We don't need you.
Also, if you're military, there's some huge benefits.
Like, I mean, it's almost like it's a nice to have. We gonna win regardless, most guys, or guys that's of a certain ilk. But for the women that men truly want, y'all need us. We don't need y'all. It's just a fact.
All right. Anybody else want to give final thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, I tend to agree with Pearl with regard to the legal aspect of it. The way I sort of approach things now is with the mentality that my desire is more so to assure the man of my intentions and devotion, right? So if he comes to me and he says, okay, no marriage, but here's all the legal ways that I'm arranging this union, then yeah, I'm going to sign whatever that is, right? So I do think that the current application of the marriage institution, and I don't know a ton of it detail wise, but of course I'm obviously familiar with like the leverage shift. And I do think the application of it is somewhat outdated in the sense that, again, I mean, it really does de-incentivize men from claiming and committing to women because of that leverage. Like biologically, as we've evolved, right? Men are the biological controller. They have more control, period, like physically and everything, right, in society. And when we've shifted that control in the marriage institution, it has unraveled, you know, kind of like Anton was saying, the structure of it as to how it's applied today, because remotely the same. So.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Going once. Go ahead.
Now I got final thoughts. The women on this panel, y'all done broke my scoreboard. So this is the first time. YouTube, you took an L today. This was a constructive conversation, and I respect it and I love it. If I had the applause on my broadcast, I would have. Bruce, you got a round of applause? Look at that. And you a dumbass nigga. No,
come on, Bruce.
Tonight was a really constructive conversation.
Bruce, come on. Anyhow, we appreciate you guys tuning in. It's a lot of super chats. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get to them today, so my apologies. Salute to the panel. Thanks, Pearl, for coming through and dropping in. Coach K, Curse for Life, Bruiser, Siobhan, Logic Anton, Carmen, myself. Just thank everybody. I think it was an awesome show. And if you haven't already, like I said, hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Catch us next Thursday. Catch Ricky Williams tomorrow on the network. The next Thursday, same time, same place. All right, y'all. We out.
We love y'all. We appreciate y'all.
All right.